Staying active and healthy as we age starts with strong bones. To keep your bones strong, you need calcium, vitamin D, and regular exercise. A bone density test called DEXA helps detect low bone mass and bone disease called osteoporosis. If you're 65 or older, Medicare provides free bone density tests every 2 years. Ask your doctor to schedule yours. For more information on how to be bone strong, visit pathtogoodbonehealth.org.
Hey, Joe, I thought you were retired.
Living on a fixed income is tough. So here I am, an essential worker.
I know. I mean, food prices are going up every day. Thank goodness for benefitscheckup.org.
Benefits what?
benefitscheckup.org. It's a free website where people over 60 can find help to pay for food, medicine, even utilities. I got $1,200 a year in benefits. Maybe it can help you.
Imagine a disease that affects more than 10 million Americans. More than AIDS, Parkinson's, ALS, MS, and muscular dystrophy combined. Yet few know its name. Some years ago, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. And after surgery, she developed lymphedema, LE, a cruel and chronic disease affecting 10 million Americans that occurs when the lymphatic system is compromised, leaving one with a lifetime of severe swelling and pain. What we found out later is its severity might have been lessened or possibly even prevented if only we were better informed. That's why I'm urging anyone facing cancer treatment to get educated. Talk to your doctor. Make it part of your cancer conversation. And if you have LE, share your story. With patients and doctors working together, we can learn and live. Learn more at lymphaticnetwork.org.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to real sports talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, with Dave Woloshin, weekday mornings from 10 to 11. It's time to get up and get your day started. Morant. Oh! A jawbreaker! It's Sports 56 mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. The first hour of Sports 56 mornings is brought to you by the Big Green Egg. Now, here are your hosts, Greg and Eli.
Happy Friday, everyone. Good morning. Welcome in on another rainy day after torrential rain yesterday as a result of Tropical Storm Francine rolling through the area. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd with you on this Friday, September 13th, 2024. Yes, Friday the 13th. We are in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. The world's biggest spa sale continues at Family Leisure. Check them out at 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. And the first hour of the program is brought to you by the Big Green Egg. Currently 66 degrees. It will get up to 70 today, again, with another rainy day. Steady rain this afternoon after a little bit of rain this morning at times, on and off, but steady in the afternoon. Chance of rain at about 80%. Then tonight, showers early, then cloudy overnight with a low of 66. It looks like there's a good chance of precipitation on Saturday, about 56%, and then 85% on Sunday. Looks like a wet weekend. Even rain in the forecast for Monday. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news. I know we needed rain. I don't know if we needed that much rain. But we'll get you set for the sports weekend with a busy show here today. John Varlas will join us at 7:25 to talk prep football. So another Friday of rain as far as the prep football world is concerned, in Memphis at least. At 8:05, we'll be joined by Senior Vice President of ALSAC, Chris Boyson, to talk about the announcement yesterday, the Hoops for St. Jude Tip-Off Classic coming October 15th to FedEx Forum with Memphis and North Carolina men's basketball, and then Memphis and South Carolina women's basketball, a doubleheader with tickets going on sale tomorrow. At 8:25, speaking of Tigers basketball, Parthu Pajai from the Daily Memphian will join us to talk about everything that has happened, especially over the last week or so, with Memphis basketball. At 9:05, we'll have 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation, give you a chance to win a great prize package. And then at 9:25, Brandon Lang will join us to handicap some of the big college football and NFL games this week. Last night, we had an NFL game and an unfortunate injury once again to Tua Tagovailoa. And in college football, we had a great game between Arizona State and Texas State. We'll talk about that. We'll go over some of the odds for our local and regional teams and a lot of other things, including the latest fallout from the big announcement of more college realignment, this time with the Pac-12. That's the lineup for today. You can also hit us up on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines at 901-360-8255. How are you?
I'm good. Happy Friday the 13th to everybody out there.
I love Friday the 13th. I don't know why. I just always seem to have a good Friday the 13th. Hopefully that'll continue. I know some people are just really, really leery of the day. They don't want to get out of bed. They don't want to face the day. Very superstitious.
I think of Friday the 13th as I think of every other Friday.
Yeah, it doesn't bother you.
It's a Friday.
Zach, does Friday the 13th bother you in any way?
No, it just lets me know that my work week is finished.
There you go. That's a good way to look at it.
Maybe it's finished. No.
You never know when you may get the call.
Never know.
For the weekend. I understand. All right, so last night, the second week of the NFL season kicked off with Buffalo and Miami. And once again, Buffalo owns Miami. If anybody did not know that, Josh Allen in particular owns the Dolphins. 13-1 as the starting quarterback for the Bills versus the Dolphins. James Cook was cooking. If you had him in your fantasy league and you played him this week, off to a good start with 3 touchdowns. But the big story, aside from the result, again, 31-10 Buffalo as they improved to 2-0, was Tua. Tua, who was terrible in that game, threw 3 picks, including a pick 6 on a horrible throw off his back foot, trying to throw it away and never reached the sideline. But then, as he tries to get a first down, and instead of sliding, he dives head first, he gets hit by, of all people, Damar Hamlin, and we know the situation with Hamlin. Just great to see him back on the field playing and starting for Buffalo. But again, a little irony there. He drills him. Tua has to leave the game. A guy who has gone through several concussions already in his young career, left the game, didn't return, does not look good.
Yeah, it's obviously when you hear concussion and Tua, images from a couple of years back come to your head when he really struggled and had a couple of things that were very scary when he was out there. And the Dolphins and the way they handled those things led to rule changes in the NFL about concussions. And, you had former players coming out and saying that he should retire at this point. Obviously concussions and the multiple concussions and repeated concussions, that's not something to be taken lightly. He needs to learn to slide. You can't continue with his history. You can't keep putting your head in there and putting yourself in harm's way. But yeah, it's unfortunate and you hate it anytime, especially with anybody. But for him and the history from a couple years ago, you just do not want to hear the word concussion mentioned with his name again.
Dolphins' offensive line was already without a couple of starters. Another guy got hurt. They were getting destroyed by Ed Oliver, Von Miller and company. And basically Tua was running for his life. Now, the first interception was not so much on him, although, as Ryan Fitzpatrick said on the Prime halftime report, that he threw it just a tad too early when a new receiver, made his break. It hit him in the shoulder pad. It's got to be a split second later, but it was on target, and that ended up deflecting and an interception. That set the tone for the game. Josh Allen really didn't have to do too much. He was efficient, but they ran the ball incredibly well. And for those who have jumped all over Miami for this season, look, there's a long way to go, but it didn't look good. McDaniel looked, I don't know how to describe him on the sideline. He was stoic, a guy who's so emotional and kind of weird and wacky. He looked like a wax figure of him. He wasn't doing anything. And then the whole clock management to end the first half, the whole thing, it was just a bad, bad night for Miami.
Yeah, and listen, if Tua's out for an extended period of time, which you would think he will be, see, again, with his history, how long it takes him to clear concussion protocol and how they want to handle this thing. But obviously, the Dolphins took a lot of criticism from the last times that they dealt with him and the concussions. But Skylar Thompson's not winning them football games.
No.
That's not happening. So, and who they have? Who's their
Tim Boyle.
Tim Boyle, yeah, Tim Boyle. He's not winning your football games.
They should have never gotten rid of Mike White. I don't know why they did, but Mike White was probably not winning you that many football games. But yes, you're right. Skylar Thompson and Tim Boyle. Miami. It's rough when, and it happens in basketball and some other sports, but it happens a lot in football, that you get a key injury to a key player early in the season and you feel the season's lost. I mean, Memphis football has the Sutton Smith injury, but they feel they can overcome that. You can't overcome Tua Tagovailoa. You can't overcome a good quarterback in the league. There's not too many of them. There's a few great ones. There's some good ones, and most of them are average or below average. So anyway, that was the situation last night, unfortunately for Tua and for the Dolphins, as they get rolled by the Bills 31-10. College football, there were a couple of games last night. South Alabama played Northwestern State, an FCS team. I think they just scored again, 87-10. Is that Applewhite's team? Is that Major Applewhite's the coach of South Alabama? Zach, can you look that up?
I'm not sure who the coach at South Alabama is.
87-10. But the game of the night of the two, but really a good game. And I expected it to be a good game. Arizona State, Kenny Dillingham, we all know him, the head coach of Arizona State, and Texas State. And Texas State is a good football team. They rolled UTSA last week. And they're playing at home. G.J. Kinney has done a great job taking over that squad. And Texas State had a 21-7 lead. But Arizona State, give them credit, they rally. And the Big 12 team beats Texas State from the Sun Belt 31-28 to improve to 3-0. Texas State drops to 2-1. That would have been bad for the Memphises and the Boises of the world to see Texas State, after what they did the first two games of the year, win against Arizona State, because that resume would look pretty darn good moving forward. But I guess fortunately for those teams that are all in the mix, it doesn't take Texas State out, but it cripples them a little bit as far as being the Group of Five representative. They got to win their conference, obviously, and then be the highest ranked of all the Group of Five conferences and their champions. But Texas State's a good football team. Arizona State gets the win 31-28.
Yeah, there's no doubt Texas State is legit, and that would have been a huge win for them if they could have gotten that to put themselves in a great position as far as the Group of Five is concerned. And, they did a good job defensively against old Cam Scatabo, who ran all over Mississippi State. But last night, 200 less yards than what he had against Mississippi State. But yeah, give Arizona State credit, coming back from the 14-point deficit and a fourth quarter that did not include much scoring at all. They got the one field goal to win the game, and they did a nice job defensively against Jordan McLeod and company. So
they did.
Nice win for Kenny Dillingham and company, and Texas State. Yeah, that would have been a big time opportunity. That was a big time opportunity that they just let get away.
Zach?
Yeah, Major Applewhite is the head coach at South Alabama.
All right, so he unleashed with his offense. Thank you. 87-10. Tonight, UNLV, Barry Odom, friend of the show, former Memphis defensive coordinator, and Kansas. And then you have a battle of ranked teams, number 20 Arizona, number 14 Kansas State. That's tonight. Now, tomorrow, as far as some of the area schools are concerned, of course, Memphis, that line keeps flip-flopping around, 6.5 to 8 to 7. Now it's back to 6.5. Memphis gets 6.5 at Florida State. Arkansas State at Michigan, they're minus 23. UAB plus 24.5 at Arkansas. Number 5, Ole Miss, is in Winston-Salem against Wake Forest. They are a 22.5-point favorite. Mississippi State will host Toledo. Holy Toledo. Toledo gets 11.5. Kent State is a 49-point underdog at number 7, Tennessee. Number 4, Alabama, 16-point favorite at Camp Randall against Wisconsin. And number 24, Boston College, gets 16 at number 7, is it Missouri? I didn't write down the ranking, but I know they're a top 10 team. Missouri, a 16-point favorite over BC. And, of course, tomorrow, the Southern Heritage Classic right here in Memphis at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium, 6 o'clock. Arkansas, Pine Bluff, and Tennessee State, both teams at 1-1. College realignment, of course, yesterday, the news about Boise and Fresno and Colorado State and San Diego State, and they will join the Pac-12. The Board of Directors unanimously approved the applications. It is happening starting in 26-27, so let the dominoes fall once again. Pac-12 Commissioner Teresa Gould was asked about the situation. She says there has been significant interest from other schools about joining the league. Now, what does that mean? Who are those teams? I don't know. We obviously don't know, and they don't know at this point what type of financial package they're talking about. They don't have even a media deal and won't until everything is settled on how many teams they want to go with. We know they have to have 8. So they have to at least add 2 more. And that became a major topic of discussion yesterday, throughout the day, on Sports Talk Radio and among people on whether or not it would make sense for Memphis if they got the invitation.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, anytime conference realignment happens, it's going to the name Memphis is going to be brought up by people. I still don't. I don't see how it can be substantially more money. I don't. The only way I see it being more money at all is if basically they get a similar deal to what the Mountain West Conference has, only they only have 8 teams, so you're dividing it amongst 8 rather than 12. I don't see any other teams they could add that's going to increase the value, and I don't think Washington State and Oregon State are worth that much more money, because otherwise they would have already been somewhere. And the Mountain West is the Mountain West. You're getting the Mountain West teams. So I don't know why. I don't think TV networks suddenly are going to love the Mountain West teams and think they're worth a lot more money than they were when they were in the Mountain West. So I don't. It just it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me as being a real option for the University of Memphis as far as substantially more money. Now the conference would be better than what the conference you're in right now. It would be you're talking better teams, and if that is going to be a group of, I guess we would go to group of 6 conference.
Yes.
If it's a group of 6 conference.
Because they wouldn't have autonomy.
You would want to be, if you want to be in the best of the group of 6 conferences, then certainly that would be appealing, but I just don't see how it's going to be any substantial increase in money.
I'm looking at a website that came out with odds for the next teams to add to, again, the Pac-12, which is the Pac-2 this year and next year for sure. But after, the 4 that are headed that way, Boise, San Diego State, Colorado State, and Fresno State, UNLV, the next best odds at minus 125, 55.5% chance. Nevada at plus 105 at 48.7% chance. And then Memphis. So outside the Mountain West, Memphis, according to this website, and these odds are plus 165, a 37.7% chance of going to the Pac-12. After Memphis is Tulane and UTSA. And then they have Stanford and Cal at about 26%. So, I mean, there's a lot of scenarios when you think about it. I don't know. First of all, if Cal and Stanford would want to do an about face. They're now in a power conference, albeit an ACC, which who knows about their future. But they're in there. They're in a power conference. They went from a power conference, but that conference is no longer a power conference. I'm talking about, of course, the Pac-12. Would they want to go back? I don't know. How hard would it be? I would imagine it'd be very hard to get out of it. But that's an option, right? That's something I guess they would at least look at. Again, they have to add 2. We know they have to add 2. They could add more. Do they go back to the Mountain West? If they do, they, for at least a moment, destroy the Mountain West, because the Mountain West now will drop from 12 to 8, and if they lose 2 more, would drop to 6. They would drop under the threshold of the minimum amount of teams you have to have. You have to have 8. So it's interesting if they wanted to take 6 all along, but they didn't want to crush the Mountain West. They've already hurt them bad, but severe, do they want to completely wipe them out? And they've been the Mountain West has been very good to the remaining Pac-2 teams, and having scheduled their teams with games against Oregon State and Washington State throughout this season and next season, or this season. Then the problem was for next season, and again, it led to them taking teams from them. I don't know if it directly led to it, but it was very coincidental. So do they want to go and take more from the Mountain West? Or do they want to put a footprint east of the Mississippi, maybe not necessarily east of the Mississippi, depending on what they want to do with Texas, but do they want to take teams really outside that geographical area? And do they want to make a footprint in the east? So they have all types of scenarios that they can go to. Doesn't necessarily mean you get the invite that you jump on it. Like we just talked about. It's got to be financially relevant and not just an even exchange or a little bit more. It has to be significant because your expenditures are going up. It's going to be more costly to be a part of that conference. So it's not a slam dunk, and it's not a slam dunk on what they want to do. Memphis has been down this road a number of times now. I'm not even sure if they were the bridesmaid in a couple of those sweepstakes. They were barely invited to the wedding. They were at that table where the 5, 6 single people sit. So I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Still have to figure out what's going on with the ACC. I don't know if we'll know anything about the ACC and the legal ramifications with Florida State and Clemson and others who would like to get out of there. Where's the landing? Do they land in the SEC? Do they land in the Big Ten? Do those conferences want them? I don't know. And can they get out? So will that be all settled by the time next year when they have to redo the contract? The contract currently only goes through next season as far as the 12-team playoff and the way college football is set up right now.
I would be a little. I mean, I guess I don't know what they're looking for, but to me, I'm actually surprised that UNLV wouldn't have been part of this initial ad, and I don't know, maybe they talked to UNLV, and I don't know, for whatever reason UNLV was hesitant or whatever, but just with the Vegas, it seems like every sporting league in the world now wants to have something in Vegas or be a part of Vegas. So that would, I would think that when they go looking and adding their other teams, that UNLV would be one of them.
I would think so as well, unless for some reason in 2024, the Board of Trustees of the Pac-12, the people that are still there, have a stick up their you-know-what about gambling, even though it's now prevalent everywhere. And they're thinking, we don't want to deal with UNLV, although they have conference championship games there. I don't know. But you're right. UNLV not being included was really, really puzzling to me. But again, maybe they just wanted to, the first punch to the mouth was taken 4, but they didn't want to cripple the Mountain West, because right now the Mountain West still has 8. So they're still fine as far as being a conference. You lose, you get down to 6, you're in trouble. So, I don't know, maybe they just did not want to do that. But anyway, it started again. It's unfortunate that this happens during the actual football season when we have games to talk about, but that's the way it is. And it has to move quickly now, again, because the current contract is only good through next year, through the 25-26 academic year. The 4 teams we just talked about going to the Pac-12 would start in 26-27. Folks, it's Chevy truck season. Together, let's drive to All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch, Mississippi, where all the Chevy trucks are. Every new Silverado you're looking for, you can get there during your free time, maybe this weekend, and come drive a few. Check them out. Financing as low as 1.9%. No payments for 90 days. That's 0 payments for 90 days, 3 months, and your good credit deserves it. Just in time for tailgating at the next game. Friday night high school football, Saturday college, whatever the case may be, All-Star Chevy has the best tailgating Tahoes. If you're law enforcement, first responder, healthcare worker, military, if you're a graduate, you're an education teacher, a teacher of some sort, you get a $500 bonus on the purchase of a vehicle. So let's go. Come check out this huge, and I'm talking huge pre-owned section, Jeeps and Fords, Nissans and Toyotas, cargo vans, a ton of pre-owned Silverados. And if you've got any vehicle you want to sell, bring it to All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch today and get the most money back for it. Don't miss this Chevy truck season sale. It's going on now in Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet, or check them out online at allstarautogroup.com. When we come back, we turn our attention to prep football. John Varlas from the Daily Memphian joins us. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
Wash your house, wash your office building? Impossible! Not call Wilson's Pro Wash. Your house, fence, driveway, warehouse, store, hotel, even cars and trucks can all be squeaky clean and beautiful after pressure washing by Wilson's Pro Wash. Wilson's specializes in cleaning all hard surfaces, concrete, stone, brick, and mortar, even wood and vinyl siding. Then Wilson's can seal their surfaces so they stay looking brand new. Call Wilson's Pro Wash, 1-524-6799, or online at wilsonsprowash.com.
They're taking care of beerness in Memphis right on the river with Grind City Brewing and all of their great products. Look, this was a dream come true for a father and son duo. And if you have not been to that brewery right on the river, just to the north of downtown, you're really missing something special. And now you can't miss their product. Wherever you go, you see a brand new label. It's clean, it's beautiful, it's distinctive. You'll know Grind City Brewing, and of course you know their products like Poppy's Pills, that great Pilsner, or Tiger Tail, that very creative craft malt liquor. There's the new Thaddeus Amber Lager. That is absolutely a great light beer. There's the India Pale called God Hopper. It's outstanding. And then there's the Belga, the Belgian-style wheat ale. They keep bringing hits at Grind City Brewing.
Hello, sports fans out there. Walker Taylor here with the Germantown and Collierville Commissary. We just celebrated our 43rd year in business, and I would like to thank our fantastic customers and especially our loyal staff. Time has flown by. We now have a second location, Poplar and Houston Levy in Collierville. Catering is a specialty of ours. 50 to 5,000, no job too small, no job too big. Full service or self-service. We also have a party room in Collierville that is great for rehearsal dinners, business meetings, you name it, we'd love to have you. Also, our barbecue party packs start at $8.75 a person. Barbecue, beans, slaw, bun sauce, including serving utensils. Especially great for tailgating with football season coming up. The commissary restaurants also believe in giving back to the community. Possibly you have been approached by somebody selling a barbecue 6-pack coupon for fundraising. Cheerleading groups, church groups, anything to help a worthy cause. Holidays are near. Smoked hams and smoked turkeys will be on the pit before you know it. Come see us at Germantown and Collierville Commissary. Also check us out at commissarybarbecue.com.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Still some rubbernecking going on in a drive-by this earlier wreck on 40 westbound just past Germantown Parkway. Again, it's running a little bit slow up through here with all the flashing lights as it continues to build 40 east across the Hernando de Soto Bridge coming over from West Memphis. Still not bad right now with that traffic flow on 55 northbound up through DeSoto County all the way into South Memphis. Hey, make a difference by adopting a pet this weekend at the Humane Society of Memphis, Shelby County. Check out the animals right now that are up for adoption at memphishumane.org. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Morning on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by the Big Green Egg. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Simone.
Welcome back, everybody. 7:28 the time. Hour 1 here on Sports 56 Mornings. It's Friday. You know what that means. Time for John Varlas.
It's time for Greg and Eli's weekly visit with John Varlas of the Daily Memphian. Check out John's prep sports coverage and much more at dailymemphian.com. John is brought to you by Shoot 360 Memphis, where the pros and preps go to get their shot on. Shoot 360 Memphis. Now here's John Varlas with Greg and Eli.
He is the award-winning prep reporter for the Daily Memphian, but so much more. He's John Varlas. You can follow him on Twitter at John Varlas. He joins us each and every Friday. He's brought to you by Shoot 360 Memphis. I was there for their official grand opening on Sunday. Thaddeus Young cut the ribbon. Boy, that place is beautiful, John.
Yeah, what was it? Tell me more. Tell me about it, Greg, because I got the invitation as well. I couldn't make it, unfortunately.
Jam-packed with kids and parents, and they put a nice grand opening together for the folks and gave away things and had food for the people and all that. And hopefully a lot of the people will sign up. And then, of course, they had leagues going on. Kids were playing because it's for kids as well. My two grandsons were there playing, and they had a ball, so it was fabulous.
Well, good, and that's what they do at Shoot 360 Memphis. They make getting better at basketball fun. You know, it's the latest high tech technology designed by really super smart, knowledgeable people. But they've found a way, like Greg said, to make it fun. And that new location out there in Cordova is a lot of fun. 50,000 square feet. It's easy to find out there on Big Orange Road. Easy access off of Houston Levee or Germantown Parkway, whichever direction you're coming from. And that's in addition to the original location out there in Collierville at 85 Market Street. You can become a member at one or both. You can do monthly memberships. You can do a longer term membership. Just whatever you want to do. The folks at Shoot 360 will, work with you and work with your needs and your finances and find a plan that's right for you. So give them a call. The Cordova number, 901-779-3176. The Collierville number is 901-316-5500. We're getting ever closer to basketball season. You guys were talking about the Tigers in their preseason game earlier with North Carolina. Basketball will be here before you know it, so you need to get in the gym and you need to get your shot right, and that's what they'll do at Shoot 360. They'll get you right.
John, I saw as you opened the door and walked into the studio, you logging a bunch of bones. There was a big bag of bones. So what do you have to talk to us about today?
I apologize to my loyal listeners in advance. This segment is going to be relentlessly negative. I've just been angry all week, like I was telling you guys, and my mood is as foul as the weather today. And I think one of the things driving it today is these weather cancellations, these football games that they're canceled last night in the interest of safety, because it was raining apparently, and I don't understand that. If there's a texter out there who wants to text in and tell me what I'm missing on the logic of that, please do, because I want to learn and I want to be educated and I want to be fair. But to me, I am just failing to see the logic of canceling a high school football game on Thursday night because it's raining and then rescheduling it till Monday and subsequently you will have to play a game as scheduled the following Friday. So in the interest of safety, we're not going to play in the rain on Thursday, but yet we will play Monday and then turn around and play the following Friday. So we'll play 2 games in the span of 4 days because that's quote unquote safer. So if you guys out there can tell me what I'm missing, again, I'm here to learn. I don't understand it. I think it's a little short-sighted. I think you're, again, shortchanging the kids. I think it's the kids that always come out short in these kind of situations. And I'm frustrated. I don't understand it. But, if there's something I'm missing, I want to be educated on this.
The games that were postponed last night.
Yeah. I know the Millington-Craigmont game has been rescheduled till Monday. The Collierville-Douglas game will now take place at 4 p.m. today at Collierville, so a little afternoon football. You can catch Collierville-Douglas at 4 p.m. and maybe even make a second game out there. They
get the early TV slot.
The early TV
very nice
slot.
in the doubleheader.
So you can catch that one and maybe make it out to another game if you so desire.
Correct me if I'm wrong. It's raining today too.
It wasn't when I was.
Well, it's supposed to rain. I mean, again,
according to Mr. Jim Cantori over here, it's going to.
Well, I'm just adding fuel to your fire, right? You're talking about playing in the rain.
And the rule is, you don't play if it's lightning, and I suppose I can understand that, even though there's, there's no. We talked about that. There's no common sense to that rule.
There was no lightning yesterday.
No lightning yesterday. It's just rain. We're just going to get wet. I remember, I posted this on Twitter yesterday. I remember very vividly. I believe it was 2018, 2019, because Gene Robinson was still the coach at Fairleigh at the time. And I went to cover one of the Fairleigh games at John P. Freeman. And, I mean, it was like yesterday. It may be worse than yesterday. It just poured all day long. But, they played the game. The field at John P. Freeman was a swamp. The concession stand area out there at Freeman was literally a river with flowing water. But, somehow they managed to get the game in and everybody survived. So between in the span of 5 or 6 years to now, I'm not sure what's happened. But
and the good thing is now, like a lot of these fields are turf fields, so you don't have to worry about tearing the field up or something like that.
And that's another thing. The city's gone through a tremendous expense and effort and time to turf these fields, and I'm sure the turf people did a great job. I'm sure these fields work like they're supposed to. So I mean, I just I'm really failing to see it, and. So I think by compressing, by compressing the schedule, you're doing more harm than playing a game in the rain. But again, that's just me.
There were some really good games last week, including that Houston-Germantown game.
Yeah, that was an instant classic. I mean, what a game! That was truly, Eli, one of the best games I've seen. Regardless of level. I mean. First, hats off to Germantown. I mean, I've been, telling people all week when the subject of this game has come up. I could not be more impressed of a team that lost the game than I was in Germantown. Considering what they lost in terms of graduation, they lost all but one of their defensive starters. They lost their quarterback. They lost their leading rusher. They lost arguably their best player who transferred to Melrose. But they're still loaded. I mean, their quarterback, Mekhi Robbins, he was excellent. It's only his third varsity start, but he was making all the throws, showed a lot of poise. He threw a pick six early that was, not a great throw, but he really bounced back from that, mentally and played tremendously the rest of the way. They've got 2 really good running backs that they used well. They kind of alternated them. One's a bit of a power back, Cavius Record, and then Larry Johnson's a little bit more of a speed back. They've got 3 really, really good wide receivers, including Trayvon McGorry, who's got several SEC offers. They got a kid named Darian Rogers who plays tight end and defensive end for him. He's terrific. So just so much talent on that Germantown team. But having said that, Houston still beat them, and it's a credit to the coaching staff there at Houston, and just a magnificent game from Chandler Day. 4th and 1. he told me after the game, post game, he said, man, I was just trying to get that 1 yard, and somehow he takes a quarterback sneak, somehow the hole opens up, and he just darts through it and scores on a 37-yard touchdown run with 32 seconds left.
It's a hell of a quarterback sneak.
Yeah, that's
37-yard quarterback sneak you don't see very often.
It was quite a play, and I'm I'm asking him how did you slip through there, and he said, my line just gave me a little bit of a part. Actually, it was a big part. It was like the Red Sea parted somehow, and he made it happen. And yeah, I mean, I really, really, truly think Chandler Day's, seriously playing himself into some Mr. Football consideration. He's the quarterback of the current number 2 team in the state. He's just playing great football, and everybody at Houston's playing great football. DJ Miller was outstanding against Germantown, 8 catches, 221 yards. I mean,
wow.
he looked like the best wide receiver in the state. The defense, there were times in that game where they got gashed, and I know those guys got some things to work on that they will work on. But yeah, that was just a remarkable football game, and anybody that was there, I know you got your money's worth out of that one.
Well, you mentioned Melrose because of the transfer to Mary Morrow, and then Munford and Melrose was a fantastic game.
Yeah, and I know, sometimes Greg, rightly so, laments that a lot of these high school football games aren't competitive, and he's right about that. Unfortunately, a lot of them aren't. But, I mean, yeah, this was another one that came right down to the wire. Munford dominated the first half. Melrose, had the better of the play in the second half, and it comes down to a game-winning field goal, last play of the game. A kid named Munford, named Lucas Crowell, goes in there and steps in and kicks it through like a champ, 32 yards, and Munford goes into Orange Mound and comes out with a big victory. And now Munford is 2-1 all of a sudden after losing pretty substantially to Covington in week 1. They're 2-1, and they've got a lot of momentum heading into Southwind tonight for a huge Region 8-5A contest. So it's going to be really interesting out there at Southwind tonight.
What team's the biggest surprise to you so far?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, I really like what East is starting to put together. For them to go and beat Arlington, which is not a really good 6A team at this point, but albeit they are a 6A team, for them to go to Arlington and win, and then follow it up last week with a victory against Sheffield, ending Sheffield's 2-year region winning streak. I'm really impressed with what East is doing. I mean, they've got a kid named Lawrence Wright, who we talked about, Greg, last week. No relation to Lorenzen Wright, but he's having a tremendous year running the ball. One of our leading rushers. They've got a gigantic offensive line, especially for a AAA, a 3A school, and that's going to win you a lot of battles when you got size up front. So yeah, I'm really impressed with the job that Greg Moore and his guys out there at East are doing. And another thing that they're doing, and this is related but not related. I mean, they're really doing a tremendous job on social media, getting the word out about their program. They're doing a great job with highlights and coach interviews and kind of little player profiles and spotlights and things of that nature. And that kind of stuff just helps me do my job better, and it helps spread the word of what's going on out there at East. So hats off to them. I hope to be able to catch up with those guys here in the next week or 2 or 3, and maybe do a feature of some sort, because they're really playing well, and they deserve a little bit more recognition, I think.
You mentioned the kicker for Munford kicking the field goal to win the game. I saw last week a 59-yard field goal. What I wanted to ask you, what is the longest field goal you've ever seen at the high school level?
That's a really good question, Eli. Max Gilbert, who's currently UT's kicker, kicked at Lausanne, and I want to say a couple of years ago I saw Max hit one from like 52-ish yards. It was a situation where it was like the end of the first half, and Lausanne was comfortably ahead, and so there wasn't any risk to letting him try. And I want to say he made it, and it was about maybe 51, 52 yards. I'm not sure what the state record is. I'm not sure.
From what I looked up last week, what I found, I think it is 62 is the state record.
Yeah. Wow, 62.
Because I figured when I be 59, I'm like, that's got to be close. Like,
right.
There aren't high school kickers kicking many more than that, and I found something that said 62, so I assume that is correct.
Yeah, I hope he's listening, because I think my buddy Jordan Thompson, who coaches soccer at ECS, really great soccer coach. I think in his playing day, he was a kicker. I believe he was a kicker at ECS, and I want to say Jordan Thompson, during his career as a kicker, hit a really long field goal too, maybe 57-ish yards here locally, but I'm not 100% sure on this.
Who was the kid from the area that went to LSU?
Josh Jasper went to LSU.
Yeah, I wonder how long his longest was. He was a great kicker.
Yeah, Courtney Levitt from Germantown was a tremendous kicker.
Wunderlich.
Yeah, Gary Wunderlich was an outstanding kicker. Oh gosh, Gary Wunderlich might have been I would pay money to watch Gary Wunderlich kick. I mean, that guy.
I wonder what the longest he ever kicked.
Yeah,
I wonder what the longest one he even attempted was.
Yeah, I mean, he was a tremendous kicker. But somebody was telling me, Eli, with Brentwood Academy, for some reason they just produce kickers. I was on my statewide podcast Monday, and the guy was telling me that Brentwood Academy, at one point, the kicker and the punter for like 4 straight years at Auburn were both from Brentwood Academy. So for some reason, they just really produce
the kid who kicked the 59-yard field goal is technically their backup kicker. Oh, because Rob Baronis' son is their kicker, and he kicked like the first extra point of the game, but then all of a sudden this kid, who's only a junior, came in and kicked the next extra point. And then with the 59-yard field goal, I'm assuming it's going to be Baronis coming out. And Baronis is committed to Stanford, and instead it's this kid, and he makes the 59-yarder. And I'm like, yeah, you're talking about just a overflow of kickers, which most high schools don't have one. These guys got a couple of them. They're just like, who cares?
Yeah, no, I would have loved to see that. That's you tweeted that, and I was like, wow, that's pretty cool.
Because it was 2 years ago against Christian Brothers. I want to say they sent Baronis out to try like a 65-yarder. And I was like, well, come on, this is ridiculous. And he wasn't close, like he pulled it way. It was, but like this dude comes out, and I'm like, okay, I'm thinking, no way, 59 yards. Sure enough, boom, 59-yarder. Okay, here we go. They got a backup kicker kicking 59-yard field goals.
And it would have been good from 60, right?
No, it wouldn't. The thing is, I don't think it would have. Like it was literally the last yard. But then he kicked a 45-yarder. That one might have been good from 65. Like that ball felt like it was still going up when it got to the goalpost. Like that ball was killed on the 45-yarder. It was crazy. This time of our program is brought to you by the Big Green Egg. Hopefully this rain gets out here, and it's not going to rain much today. If in some areas I don't think it will rain at all, but it's going to be some light sprinkles, whatever. But hopefully this weekend we get some good grilling weather. Fire up those Big Green Eggs. If you don't have the Big Green Egg, well, that's your fault. You need to have the Big Green Egg. It's the best grill there is. Last grill you'll need to buy. Comes with that lifetime warranty. Check them out at the Ace Hardware stores around town or at Hamilton Fireplace. All the different sizes of the egg, all the accessories. You can also get all the information you need, including recipes and other things, at biggreenegg.com.
All right, we'll talk about the games on the docket for tonight with John. If you have a team or a game matchup that you need more information about, then all you have to do is text us about the game, about the teams, 360-8255, Sissy's Log Cabin text line, and John will answer it for you. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Yes, you could go to some chain restaurant for breakfast. Lots of people do. It's the obvious choice. Or you could go to Memphis's favorite homegrown breakfast places, Sunrise on Jefferson or Sunrise East on Poplar. Sunrise is a Memphis original, and you can rely on getting a fast, fresh breakfast, or lunch for that matter, with nothing coming off of the back of a truck frozen. Whether it's breakfast or lunch, it's all made right here in Memphis. There's a reason why the 2 locations of Sunrise are the Memphis destination for great, fast, fresh food. It's Sunrise.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. In these uncertain economic times, there are so many things as a contractor and a business owner that I cannot control. The rising cost of materials, not to mention fuel and transportation costs. In the last 2 years, shingle prices have almost doubled, and commercial materials have doubled. And I don't have to tell you what fuel costs these days. But you know what I can control? How much markup I put on a project. I have always prided myself in knowing I never gouge a customer. But in an effort to ensure my crews have work and my customers are being treated fairly, I have lowered my profit margin, hoping to give you a price you can live with and keeping my crews busy. So if you need a roof or gutters, please give us a call. 5 Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 5 Roofing, a proud sponsor of Tiger Athletics and a member of the Tigers home team. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Time is of the essence with COVID-19. Prescription oral treatment must be taken within the first 5 days of symptoms. If you have a high risk factor, ask your doctor if treatment is right for you. Learn more at treatcovid19.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hey folks, grab old Penelope and saddle up for the 35th annual Western Trading Days here at Sunrise Buick GMC at Wolf Chase. There's a new sheriff in town and we're slashing prices on over 600 new Buicks and GMC models. You'll get big rebates, huge discounts, and a low APR financing. Get top dollar for your old wagon when you trade in for a new buggy, and financing for just about everyone. Divorce, repo, slow pay, it's all okay at Sunrise. The #1 volume Buick GMC dealership in Memphis, 4 years running. Call, click, or come on into the good-looking store in Bartlett. We make it fun to buy a car.
Credit based on 20 through 23 new vehicle sales data.
Welcome back. Wrapping up hour number 1, wrapping up our segment with John Varlas. We do it each and every Friday. Of course, John, the award-winning prep reporter for the Daily Memphian. You can follow him on Twitter at John Varlas. All right. On tap for tonight, some games of note. I know you're headed to Southwind for Southwind Mumford.
Headed out to the 38125, as Coach Slocum used to call it, and check out the Jaguars and Munford. That game was not competitive last year. Last year, Southwind went out to Munford, and they scored early and often, and they won the game 42-0. But I expect Munford to keep it, make it more competitive tonight. I'm really looking forward to seeing Kelvin Perkins for the first time this year. Last year's Mr. Football winner, off to another tremendous start, averaging 170 yards passing through 3 games per game. He's also rushing for 86 yards per game, so that's 256 yards of total offense through 3 games. He's already accounted for 11 touchdowns. No interceptions through 3 games for Kelvin Perkins, and this is with a brand new core of receivers and a mostly brand new core of running backs as well. So looking forward to seeing Kelvin and Southwind, and like I said, Munford's going to go in there with a ton of confidence after that victory last week against Melrose, and the week before against Millington in the M&M Bowl. So I think it should be a really good game out there tonight in Southwind.
They play somebody whose name doesn't start with M. Mace, Mitchell, something like they were all booked up. MUS, they were all booked up. So yeah. What about Arlington and Bartlett?
Bartlett is going to want to. I know Bartlett is super eager and ready to get back on the field after losing to Collierville last week. A really good performance from Collierville in that one. They kind of held Jaron Johnson, the great running back from Bartlett, in check. So I know Bartlett is eager to get back out there, and it's an important game too from this standpoint, Eli, for Bartlett. You don't want to fall to 0-2 in the region, so they got to go out there and get back on track tonight against Arlington, and I think they will. Arlington's had trouble stopping the run. They had trouble, with Lawrence Wright and East, who I mentioned earlier. So, they may have trouble with Jaron Johnson, Isaiah Worrells, and the Bartlett run game tonight.
All right, we were talking a little bit about ECS, and it's interesting. ECS over the years has produced some really good athletes. Brent Rooker went to ECS, right?
Brent Rooker, Barrett Jones, Austin Hill, who won Mr. Football and went on to play at Army.
But it's been
tremendous athletes.
But
from ECS.
lately, I mean, you go back to the Coach Hines days. They were a dominant team. But lately, it's just sporadic. The athletes they're getting. So ECS is not the team they were, at least when I moved here. They got Lausanne, which is a big challenge. Lausanne, on the other hand, able to get a lot of athletes here under Kevin LeCastro.
Yeah, and who's the name of that long snapper?
Morgan Cox.
Yeah, Morgan Cox.
Right.
Pretty
good, right?
Lots of great athletes out of ECS.
Think about that.
No, I mean, per capita, I mean, ECS knocks it out of the park. But yeah, no, and it's interesting too with Lausanne. They played really well in week 1 against Mace, and they haven't played since. They were their week 2 game against Bartlett was lightning cancellation there, and then they had a bye week regularly scheduled for last week. So they haven't played in 2 weeks, and it's there may be some little rust there, but I know they're eager to get back out on the field. This is the first region game for each team. ECS is off to a 2-0 start. They've certainly been better under Blake Butler this year. His son, Cade Butler, the quarterback, he had a great game last week against Kingsbury, 5 touchdown passes. But Lausanne obviously is going to be a big step up in competition. I expect that one to be a lot closer than it was last year when Lausanne won the game by the unusual score of 56-2. So hopefully for ECS's sake, it won't be that bad this year, and I don't think it will. I think they're a much better team, and I think it should be a good solid game there at Lausanne tonight.
What about White Station and Whitehaven?
Yeah, that's a game. That's a rivalry, a city rivalry that been a little one-sided here lately. Whitehaven's won the last 10 meetings between those two teams, and that includes a couple of playoff contests. But that's still a good rivalry. I mean, those teams want to beat each other really bad. And this, again, in terms of the region standings, Eli, this is a hugely important game because both of those teams won last week. Whitehaven opened with a region victory over Cordova. White Station beat Cordova last week, and Whitehaven opened with a victory over Arlington. So keep an eye on that one. The winner goes to 2-0. They'll have a leg up in the standings. And Christopher Talley for Whitehaven, what can you say about that kid last week? 341 yards, 5 touchdowns. He's the number 1 running back in our city in terms of yards, 232 yards per game, just having a tremendous start to the season for Whitehaven. And, he's only a junior too. So, I mean, keep an eye on.
So he'll get his looks now from colleges, right?
I would assume so. I mean, he's a track kid. He qualified for state, this past May in the hurdles. So he's got that track speed. He's a terrific athlete. And I mean, you guys know the running backs Whitehaven has produced over the years.
Yep.
Curtis Alexander, Mark Dodson, Colin Watkins. I mean,
Rodney's done an amazing job with that
so many
program.
great athletes.
What a great coach.
And Christopher Talley's looking like he's following right along in those guys' footsteps.
Anything else on the docket we need to know for tonight? That stands out?
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have my schedule with me.
Okay.
Our schedules sort of evaporated.
They disappeared.
But no, I mean, get out and support. I know it's going to be wet, but I'm going to be out there, right there with you guys. And, get out and support these kids. Football season is so precious. There's only 10 weeks. There's only 10 games. There's some teams.
Well, this would be 9 games for a lot of teams.
Well, right, and obviously, your Houstons, your Germantowns, they'll play more than 10. But time is short in high school football. Go out and support and make these Fridays special, and let's try to keep them special.
Well, our buddy John up in Covington asked about Covington versus Scotts Hill. I don't know what you know about Scotts Hill.
Well, I know they're 0-3, and I know that Covington is rolling like always. I mean, that was a huge victory last week against Dyersburg. I mean, Dyersburg was number 7 in the state, and they scored a late touchdown to make the score a little bit more respectable. But Covington was in control of that game pretty much from start to finish. Another 200-yard game for Skyland Smith there at Covington. He leads our area with 10 touchdowns. And I would have to say, handicapping it around the state, I would have to say right now through 3 games. Skyland's probably your Mr. Football favorite in Class 3A. Yeah. I mean, he's just off to a tremendous start.
Where the hell is Scotts Hill?
It's in Mississippi, isn't it?
Scotts Hill that's a region game. So Scotts Hill is somewhere around Covington. I don't know where. Somebody can maybe text in and tell us. No,
and who's Scott?
Could be a running clock situation.
Yeah, I don't know, and I don't know.
All right,
but anyway,
we'll find out. Somebody will text in.
So that's good. I think Covington wins that one. Can I tell you guys of a dream I had real quick the other night?
Yeah.
So it involves you guys. So I was I was in the. This will be a good way.
We were in Scotts Hill.
This will be a good
Scotts
way.
Hill.
This will be a good way to end
Mississippi, as I said.
Good way to end the segment. So I was in the old commercial appeal building on Union. union, right?
Mhm.
I was in the sports
With
department
the other homeless people. No, I'm kidding.
I was in the sports department on the 5th floor, the way it used to be, the way it was laid out. I had and it was a little dark. It was like 7, 8 o'clock ish, and it was getting dark. It wasn't completely dark, but it was getting dark, and I was kind of stumbling around trying to find my way. I knew where I was going, but I kind of didn't know, so I was a little lost. But I kind of knew where I was going, and I turned around a corner, and there's Eli on a cell phone. And the cell phone is like illuminating Eli. So Eli was like literally my light in the tunnel. And then I woke up. So what do you guys think that means?
You love Eli.
I know you think I favor Eli, but
I am the light of many people's lives. So that's what it means. Like you're one of the people on the list.
I mean, Eli he was just standing there glowing, and he kind of like, and I
do glow.
Let me tell you something. When that ship's going down, I'm the one that's saving you, not him. Let's just put it that way.
I do glow very much.
And John, I know you'll be covering Memphis 901 FC tomorrow. I did want to mention this real quick. I mentioned it earlier in the week that tomorrow will be Cancer Kickers Night. They'll have children from Cancer Kickers Soccer Club performing the Guitar Smash, serving as honorary captain. They have several season-long initiatives 901 FC does, with all portion of jersey sales and tickets sold in Section 119 going to Cancer Kickers. They'll also have post-match fireworks. And there's a pledge program that was launched earlier this week for fans to pledge donations for each goal that the club scores during the Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. So you can go to their website and find out more about that and pledge a donation.
Yeah, kick cancer's butt. That's a great butt to kick. So yeah,
it is.
I'll always have a bone to pick against cancer. I think that's universal for everybody. So yeah, and I think the guys from 901 FC here will also be wearing a new kit Saturday night, as they say. So there's that. Hopefully they can score some goals. I mean, man, they created a ton of chances Wednesday night, but they just couldn't put any in the back of the net. And I know Coach Glass and the guys were pretty frustrated after that one, but nevertheless, they're still playing well, and
at least they got a point. Well, they got a point out of it. So.
And you'd be more worried if you weren't creating the chances. I mean, eventually they'll go in, and hopefully they'll start going in Saturday.
All right, John, good stuff.
Thank you, guys.
John, I'll have you covered with high school football tonight, soccer tomorrow.
Genesis Diamonds, folks, if you're in the market for jewelry, whether it be an engagement ring, maybe just a special piece of jewelry to mark a special occasion, go see the folks at Genesis Diamonds, Poplar and Perkins Extended. That's where you're going to find them. We're going to find amazing selection, amazing prices, great service that you'll get from the folks over at Genesis Diamonds. They don't work on commission, so they're not there to pressure you into buying something more expensive. They're just there to help you pick out that perfect piece of jewelry, make you a smarter shopper when it comes to buying jewelry. Genesis Diamonds, Poplar and Perkins Extended.
When we come back, plenty of basketball talk in hour number 2. We'll open up talking about the Hoops for St. Jude Tip-Off Classic with Chris Boyson from St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Napa Cafe celebrates 26 years in 2024. Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I want to thank you for making us part of your dining experiences. If you are a first-time guest or have dined with us countless times, I want to thank you for making us part of your lives. Whether you're celebrating with the crowd or planning a cozy date night on the town, Napa Cafe can provide you an extraordinary evening. We have 5 dining rooms, including our private wine cellar, our Jan's room for 2 guests, and the Eleanor room for parties up to 60. Sit back, relax, and celebrate. Leave the cooking to us. Come see me at Napa Cafe, 5101 Sanderlin Avenue. We're open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. We also offer curbside pickup from our full menu. For details on our stay-in, dine-out menu or reservations, visit our website at napacafe.com. Come join us as we celebrate 26 years of Napa Cafe in 2024. We can't wait to serve you.
East Memphis Ace Hardware is more than just a hardware store. It's really a customer service store with 20 employees along with complete inventory of items. Finding what you need is easy. Choosing from a complete selection of Big Green Egg as well as Traeger and Weber grills. And the Garden Center has everything for your yard. You can get glass, cut-up repair screens, and the keys with key fob programming. Tools, nuts, bolts, screws. You need it. East Memphis Ace Hardware has it. And they're just down the street at the corner of Wilson White Station.
When you think about insurance and you want great value without sacrificing great service, I want you to think one place, the Eflin Insurance and the entire Eflin Insurance team. Matt and his group of professionals will access 10 leading companies to find the right home and auto program that fits your budget and your absolute needs. The Eflin Insurance team, the number 386-GER, 386-4777.
This Sports 56 traffic report is brought to you by Luttrell Belting. They keep you moving.
Sports 56 traffic.
A little bit better from the earlier collision we had on 40 westbound near Germantown Parkway. We're still dealing with some power outages. That means some of the traffic lights are either out or on the blink. So please use caution and common sense through some of those intersections where the lights are especially completely out. Traffic's on the increase here in the last few minutes up through South Haven on 55 going northbound all the way into South Memphis. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry serving the Memphis area now for over 40 years, no matter what the occasion is. Stop by and see them first at Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
This is Original Sports Station. We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Diamonds are forever. Woo!
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:03 the time, hour 2 here on Sports 56 Mornings. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd with you from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure. It's where family and fun come together. 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. It's the Friday the 13th, 2024 edition of the program. In just a moment, we're going to talk to Chris Boyson, talk about the big news that was announced yesterday, the Hoops for St. Jude Tip-Off Classic coming to FedEx Forum, doubleheader basketball on October 15th. Right now, 66 degrees. It will get up to 70 today. We got rain showers. That'll be steady rain this afternoon. Then we'll taper off a bit. The chance of rain at 80%. Then showers early tonight. Variable winds, so the winds will start to die down, which is nice because they were wicked yesterday, knocked out a lot of people's power. 66 for a low, and then there is rain, unfortunately, in the forecast for the weekend, but I'm not sure if it's an all-day affair Saturday or Sunday, but better chance for that rain on Sunday. Corky's Ribs and Barbecue, great option if you're going to tailgate tonight for high school football, for college football tomorrow. Anytime is a good time for Corky's. They've been serving up that delicious slow smoke barbecue for nearly 40 years. They've been catering that same amount of time. So if you have an event coming up, you want it catered, Corky's is the go-to. If you're heading there for lunch or dinner, you add a third of a rack of ribs for just $7.99 when you purchase an entree. 4 locations in the Mid-South: Poplar Avenue in Memphis, Poplar Avenue in Collierville, Germantown Parkway in Cordova, and Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Corky's Ribs and Barbecue, open for lunch and dinner 7 days a week. As I mentioned yesterday, some big news involving Memphis basketball, involving St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. It's the Hoops for St. Jude Tip-Off Classic, which will be taking place October 15th, and it's our pleasure to be joined by Chris Boyson. He's the Senior Vice President of ALSAC and a University of Memphis graduate. Chris, how are you?
I'm doing great. How you guys doing?
Doing fantastic. Thanks for joining us. Great news yesterday. I know this had been in the works for a while. Nobody really knew all the details. That was behind closed doors. But can you kind of give us a timeline, Chris, on how this got started, where the idea came from, and then how it came to fruition?
Yeah, no, thanks for having me on. You know, as far as the timeline, we've been talking about this, I guess, for the last 15 years since Rick Shadiak's been our CEO.
Wow.
We've wanted to do something like this, and I think the pieces just fell into place this year. It was last December, and I got introduced to Garrett Kelly over at the University on Penny staff at the time, and he took me down onto the floor before a game, and I had an audience there with the University President Hargrave and Laird Beach at the time, and so we pitched the idea at that point. They liked it, so Penny was already on board, and at that point, we had to start putting pieces together. So I connected with the people at FedEx Forum, and their reaction was really positive. They said, we've been wanting to do something like this. So that was another one. And then Garrett and the U of M staff connected me to Complete Sports Management. They put on the Battle for Atlantis every year, and very connected with a lot of different teams, and they wanted to help. So then that's how we got connected to these blue blood programs that we have, and in that time since then, we've been doing contracts, and then ESPN was kind of the last piece of the puzzle to fall into place, and here we are. We're thrilled. We're thrilled to be able to bring this to Memphis. We're thrilled to help the kids at St. Jude. It's events like this that help make it possible for us to provide treatment, travel, housing, food at no cost to our patients and to their families. We want them to worry about their kids, right? We want them to focus on their kids, and hopefully this will be a tremendous success, and we can do more in the future.
Yeah, it's obviously great, and it makes sense to have an event like this here with what St. Jude means, and as you mentioned with ESPN and when you get television coverage, just like anything else, like getting that message of St. Jude out there to people watching around the country and everywhere else, that's awesome as well.
Oh, it's incredible to be able to, help our brand. We are already out there, I guess, as a nationally known charity and brand. But when you get a stage like this on ESPN in front of basketball fans, which may be a slightly different audience for us, it's a blessing. And then, to be able to get in front of these players with our message, we're really excited. They're going to be helping us fundraise here starting at the beginning of October, leading up to the game. We're going to be trying to raise some money. Obviously, all proceeds of this go to St. Jude. The ticket sales, the sponsorships. We need the corporate community to get behind us. And we're going to try to do some fundraising in arena. We're going to do a dinner the night before. So we got a lot going on.
And as you said, Chris, Penny has been behind this from the get-go. He
has. That was the first endorsement that we got. And he's been tremendously supportive. And, that's what really gave us the confidence to move forward.
So now that this first one is going to happen, as you look down the road, what's the hope of growing this event as it continues?
Look, at St. Jude, we tackle big problems, right? We tackle big. We obviously have the audacity to think that we can cure childhood cancer, and you know what? We're doing it.
Yep.
In much the same way, we dream big. We want to do things that are scalable. We don't want to do one-off things. And in this case, we've been, again, the original goal last year was to try to do something in season. And the schedules were already set, and so that's where we landed. You know what? We'll put a toe in the water here on the preseason effort and then move from there. But, yeah, the hope would be that we can do this bigger and better and do something in season. We see things like the Maui Invitational and the Battle for Atlantis, and there's no reason that Memphis wouldn't deserve something like that here in our community. We could rotate the teams. The Memphis Tigers would be a constant, and so that's the vision.
It makes perfect sense to have this on an annual basis. Obviously, the money raised to go to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, every single person will be on board as far as that's concerned. It just makes perfect sense. But I was shocked when you opened up this conversation saying that this is something that you and Rick and others have talked about for that many years. I mean, I thought maybe this was just something, okay, the light bulb went on last year, let's think about doing this. But this process is long and tedious, and now it's going to come to fruition. But pretty amazing that it's been in the works, or at least talked about, for that many years. We're being joined right now by Chris Boyson, Vice President of ALSAC, the Senior Vice President, and what a great job they do in fundraising. Okay, so the women involved as well. You got the number one team, the defending champions, coming in Dawn Staley. As Eli asked you about the future, and I guess anything's possible in the future, do you see a continuation of men's and women sharing the bill? Do you see strictly a men's tournament? I mean, what the options, I guess, are numerous.
They are. You're exactly right. But look, when we were dreaming this up, as we were thinking about what this could be, and then when we connected with, Complete Sports Management, and you kind of had a confluence of things happening, right? You had the women's game really just rising in the last year, and we thought, as we thought about this, we thought, it's as important to have the Lady Tigers a part of this as anything, and then, with their connections, they went out and we kind of went straight to the top, right? With South Carolina, and they extended an invitation to them, and it turned out that Dawn Staley is a fan of St. Jude and has supported us in the past, and she jumped right on board. And then, same with North Carolina. I saw some reports out there yesterday that said, there were some teams that turned us down. The fact is, those were the first two teams we asked.
That's impressive. And again, when you go with the idea of St. Jude, I mean, most times people are going to say, yeah, like we're on board with that. We're wanting to help out. So that's cool. And for you as a Memphis alum, I mean, even though the exhibition game has got to be cool, like again, when you're talking North Carolina on the other side or number one South Carolina, like to see your school play these types of teams, even if it is an exhibition game, is pretty cool.
Oh, look, it's a confluence of three things that I love. It's St. Jude, it's the city of Memphis, and it's my school. And to be able to put those three things together to do something good, it's a real dream, and it's a privilege to be a part of it. And we're thrilled. We want to do this for the city of Memphis as well. Danny Thomas chose Memphis back in 1962 when St. Jude was built, and the survival rate for childhood cancer was 20% in the U.S.
Right.
We've been choosing Memphis since then. The survival rate across the United States is now 80% for childhood cancer. There's work to do, right? That means that 1 out of 5 kids still don't make it. And worldwide, that survival rate in developing countries is still 20%. So it's 1962 all over again. But we've been choosing Memphis that entire time, and Memphis has been tremendous to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We want to be here for the long haul, and we want to support Memphis. We want to build this city up. We deserve good things. We deserve positive things. This city, the people here are like none other in the world, and we want to keep doing great things for it.
Look, we know there's a long way to go, but certainly every little bit helps to try to dent into getting the fatality rates down and finding a cure one day for all the dreaded diseases that are associated with cancer, especially when it comes to our children and our children from around the world. We had Rick Shadiak on before the FedEx St. Jude Championship, another event, obviously, where St. Jude benefits from. But, I mean, it's a win-win-win, this type of event, because people love sports. Sports brings everybody together, Chris. You know that. And to be able to do something where you see, some of the best teams and hopefully more in the future, and what the beneficiary is, and that, of course, is the great folks at St. Jude. I just loved it. I knew that there was a possibility. I knew that there was some things happening. The wheels were spinning. But you never know until it's done, right? Until the contracts are signed, as you said. So very, very happy about this. Now, people need to know. Now, we talked about it yesterday, but people need to know again. Ticket sales, they go on sale tomorrow. What are the particulars they need to know?
Ticketmaster, 10 a.m. tomorrow, open to the public. There are a couple pre-sales happening today. I think Tiger season ticket holders can get on at 10 a.m. this morning. They should have gotten an email from the U of M, and they should be able to get on at 12 p.m. this morning. It opens up to any, the South Carolina and North Carolina fan bases and the FedEx Forum kind of ticket buyer base, kind of their pre-sale list. And then tomorrow it goes live to the public, 10 a.m.
I would be remiss if I didn't ask you before we let you go your thoughts about the Tiger football team at Florida State tomorrow.
Look, I think Mike Norvell is going to be a sad man. So sometimes you don't know what you got till it's gone. And, I can't help but think he's going to be looking across the field with a little tear in his eye.
I'll be down there, for our sake, as part of the broadcast team. I hope that that comes to reality. We will find out tomorrow. He's Chris Boyson. He's the Senior Vice President of ALSAC. And again, what a great, great story. What great news it is, especially when we've had some rough news lately, to be able to hear about this terrific event, the Hoops for St. Jude Tip-Off Classic on October 15th. Chris, thank you so much. Don't be a stranger. Anything that's happening that you need some PR for, you got an outlet right here with us on Sports 56.
Would love it. Thank you so much for your support, guys.
Thank you, Chris. Just good news. We needed some.
It should be a great event. And again, if they can make this an annual thing and that ends up becoming a regular season event, that would be absolutely awesome. To see teams, national programs coming in here as part of an event every year, that would be really cool. And again, the idea that it's all going towards St. Jude, that just makes it that much better. So hopefully folks will pack the building for that, and should be, again, a chance to see North Carolina, South Carolina's women's program, which is the top of the sport right now. That's pretty awesome. That's a nice little doubleheader for one night down at FedEx Forum.
James Gaddis Jewelers, second hour sponsor of Sports 56 Mornings, 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick. On the web at GaddisJewelers.com. Each Monday and Friday, they bring you the Memphis Sports Fact. Did you know the Memphis women's soccer team ranked in a couple of polls, number 5 and number 7, respectively? I'm not sure which poll is which, but certainly one of the top teams in the country. Unfortunately, they suffered their first defeat of the 2024 season last night, dropping a 1-0 contest to the University of Tennessee in Knoxville. The loss broke the Tigers' 5-game winning streak to open up the campaign. There are only 6 teams with perfect records that remain in Division I women's soccer. Tomorrow is the big sale, the big anniversary sale at James Gaddis Jewelers, the biggest they've ever had. Everything on sale in the store from 20 to 60%. So if you're thinking about early shopping for Christmas, a birthday present coming up, an anniversary gift, you're getting engaged, this is the sale for you. Tomorrow at James Gaddis Jewelers, 20 to 60% off. 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick. On the web at GaddisJewelers.com. So keep that in mind when you're doing some jewelry shopping. Think about this right now and take advantage of it at James Gaddis Jewelers. In a few moments, we'll talk more about the Tigers. Unfortunately, we got the bad and the good mixed in when Parth Upadhyay joins us, but certainly the good news from yesterday. Wanted to get to one other note before we take our next break, and that's from the NFL. We were talking the last 2 days about the Deshaun Watson and the latest accusation, the latest allegations. And then yesterday, of course, Deshaun Watson, I guess, through his attorney, saying that he did not do what he is accused of doing. Of course, you're going to say that. I'm not saying that he did or did not. But the attorney representing the plaintiff in this civil lawsuit against Deshaun Watson, accusing him of sexual assault, Tony Busby, who we've read about and know his name, because he's been involved in many, many of these.
So he represented all the other women.
He represented all the other women. He's also had other major cases that people know. He's a very well-known attorney. He says that his client, again, still known as Jane Doe, will meet with the NFL in the next 2 weeks, and they talked about having 2 additional witnesses and an actual video. I don't know what the video is. I don't know what it shows. I don't know if there really is one. But again, we're talking about the possibility of having language that would make that contract he has with Cleveland null and void. Don't know all the language in there, and I'm not an attorney. But that's the talk anyway, that could come to fruition if he did not reveal, and he didn't reveal this allegation. But again, he sticks by, obviously, that he is innocent of this. We'll see where this one goes from here.
Yeah, they also, Busby also said they've been, I think, reaching out to Watson's, I guess, lawyer or whatever for quite some time about this, trying to get a settlement before actually having to file the lawsuit. Again, now Watson claims that he knew nothing about that, which would seem weird if that was the case.
Mm-hmm.
If they're reaching out to your people about this accusation, and your people, I guess, never came to you and said, hey,
right,
there's another woman who's going to apparently come forward and probably sue you. So I don't know. It's always a little weird, but again, it's still.
Well, he's a little weird.
Bizarre, the timing of the actual lawsuit being filed.
Absolutely. All right, we'll take a timeout. When we come back, Parthu Bajai from the Daily Memphian on the other side. He'll join us in studio. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 at 98.5 FM.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows. Stay up to date with station events and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Wash your house, wash your office building? Impossible! Not call Wilson's Pro Wash. Your house, fence, driveway, warehouse, store, hotel, even cars and trucks can all be squeaky clean and beautiful after pressure washing by Wilson's Pro Wash. Wilson's specializes in cleaning all hard surfaces, concrete, stone, brick, and mortar, even wood and vinyl siding. Then Wilson's can seal your surfaces so they stay looking brand new. Call Wilson's Pro Wash. 1-524-6799 or online at wilsonsprowash.com.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. In these uncertain economic times, there are so many things as a contractor and a business owner that I cannot control. The rising cost of materials, not to mention fuel and transportation costs. In the last 2 years, shingle prices have almost doubled, and commercial materials have doubled. And I don't have to tell you what fuel costs these days. But you know what I can control? How much markup I put on a project. I have always prided myself in knowing I never gouge a customer. But in an effort to ensure my crews have work and my customers are being treated fairly, I have lowered my profit margin, hoping to give you a price you can live with and keeping my crews busy. So if you need a roof or gutters, please give us a call. Five Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. Five Ash Roofing, a proud sponsor of Tiger Athletics and a member of the Tigers home team. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Simple, smooth, and every sip as easy as the last. Tito's handmade vodka tastes just as good with tap water as it does your favorite mixers. Back in the day, Tito distilled, hand-bottled, taste-tested, sent out to a few friends, then taste-tested again to give you the finest juice around. No frills, no flavors, no fancy labels, just the good stuff, just Tito's. For recipes, videos, and more, visit Tito'sVodka.com. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, mainly 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
I don't think we really need anyone else to help us tell everyone how great Central Barbecue is.
Oh, I don't think we need it either, but I just thought it might be fun to have somebody more famous than us chime in on the best barbecue in Memphis.
Well, did he talk about how Central Barbecue slow smokes its meat for 24 hours to make sure that it's perfectly tender and doesn't need a sauce?
Well, no, not exactly.
Well, did he talk about how there are Central Barbecue locations all over town?
No.
Did you write his copy for him?
I didn't want to be insulting.
So what did he say?
Hi, I'm Dave Woloshin, the voice of the Memphis Tigers. I love Central Barbecue, and I vote. Does that work okay?
What does that even mean?
I don't know.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. The police are still sorting out a couple of earlier accidents. Still some volume right now coming down I-40 in from Fayette County into Shelby County, but hey, at least it's moving. 385's been in pretty good shape so far. Bill Morris Parkway coming inbound all the way to that ramp there to 240 as you come past Riverdale. 55 coming up from the south, still positive out of DeSoto County up through South Haven. Weimer's Jewelry serving the Memphis area now going on over 40 years, no matter what the occasion is. Stop by and see these guys first. Shop local, save a lot of money at Weimer's Jewelry out there on Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Don't you just love it?
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:25 the time, hour 2 on this Friday edition of Sports 56 Mornings. In hour 3, don't forget 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation. We'll do that at 9:05, and then Brandon Lang at 9:25 to handicap some of the big college football and college or NFL games this weekend. Basketball right around the corner, as everybody knows. We were just talking with Chris Boyson from Alsac and also St. Jude Children's Research Hospital about the event coming up on October 15th, the Hoops for St. Jude Tip-Off Classic. So basketball is right around the corner. That means frequent visits from our favorite, Parthu Pajai from the Daily Memphian. He's the Tigers basketball beat writer, does a fantastic job, and he joins us in studio. We got a lot to get to. As we always say, right, never a dull moment.
Never.
And Penny spoke last night, and you talked to him, so we'll get to that in a second. First, I wanted to ask you about the most recent extended interview. Penny hasn't done a lot, but he did one, I guess, over the phone with John Rothstein.
Yep.
Okay? Which was interesting because John never brought up the letter, right?
Or
the
any
anonymous
NCAA
letter.
stuff.
He never brought any of that. I don't know if he was told not to bring it up or whatever.
I'm sure he was.
But I was surprised he didn't bring that up. But he did bring up the coaching changes. And you talked to Penny about that last night as well. And Penny, once again, said that, he's got great relationships with all these guys, that, I'm doing things to make the team better. It still puzzles everyone that at this time of the year, he made 4 changes to his staff. What's his response when you ask him about that?
Yeah, I kind of, just to talk about last night, I asked him to, I didn't bring up the Rothstein interview, but I asked him to follow up on that same topic and just saying, hey, how challenging is it to have to make these personnel changes kind of year after year, and this year in particular doing it, a month out until your first charity exhibition, which is obviously, now we know, October 15th against North Carolina. And he said, and I'm just reading off the quote directly, he starts off by saying, I really don't want to go that route because I understand the narrative that you guys are creating, and I'm guessing, obviously, you guys here, meaning me and the other reporter and just the media contingent.
Local media?
Local media, yeah,
okay.
Right. The narrative that we are creating, apparently. But he did go on to say, and now I'm paraphrasing the rest, that he wholeheartedly believes that, everybody that's come through his program, there's no bad blood there, and he still has a relationship with, any staffer, any assistant, any associate coach that's come through the ranks here at Memphis, is what he said.
That and while that, I guess, could very well be true, there seems to be if this letter came from somebody that you would think, with all the stuff that was in the letter, again, if any of it's true, unless somebody just created all of this out of the blue,
right?
You would think this would have to have been somebody who was at one point inside the program, and that doesn't seem like somebody who would have a really good relationship with Penny to write that letter.
Yeah, that's how it reads, right? The level of specificity, the level of detail in that letter. Obviously, we can't just take it and run with it and believe everything's true, but it'd be hard for me to believe everything in that letter is just coming out of thin air, like you said. Somebody obviously is not pleased with the way they were treated or the way that things went during their tenure here at the University of Memphis.
We don't know. We now know 4 people that won't be on the staff because that's the first information that has been divulged by the athletic department and confirmed. Nothing else that has happened since day one after the season wrapped up, with all the rumors and innuendo, and we know there are certain people there now.
100%.
But none of it has ever come out officially from the school or by Penny himself. So I ask you, what does the staff look like now, and what additions may occur before this season opens up with an October 15th game, as we just talked about, against North Carolina, albeit preseason, but obviously camp opening up too. What's the coaching staff?
Yeah, we know obviously Mike Davis has been there since June.
Never announced.
The program has not publicly announced it, but if you go on their roster, on their athletics page, he is listed.
Okay,
there.
so he is listed on the website,
right?
Okay, but never formally announced.
Never formally announced. We know they've got a.
Will he be the lead assistant to replace Stansbury?
I can confirm that he will be the lead assistant to replace Stansbury. So he's there. He's on the site. He has not been announced via press release. We know that I believe Todd Forcier, strength coach who spent over a decade with the NBA at the Portland Trailblazers.
Right.
He is there. He's on the site as well.
And that was a simple addition because Darby Rich left again.
Early in the offseason.
For the second time.
Second time,
Okay,
yes.
all right. So that one made, okay, I understand that one.
That one made sense.
Who's the other assistant coaches?
Yes, I'm told that they're working toward finalizing a deal with Nolan Smith that has not been announced yet, but it could be announced as early as today, if not early next week, certainly. So that's going to be the second assistant coach right there, and then they have one more vacancy. You know, you got three kind of lead assistant spots there, and then you still got further down the coaching depth chart, if you will. You've got Andre Turner, who's been brought back as a director of development.
But could be elevated,
relations.
right? Into that position or not?
I guess in theory could be elevated. I've not been told that directly, but you know, one of those guys that Penny has familiarity with, whether it be Andre Turner or Jermaine Johnson, who's director of analytics right now, could certainly be promoted or elevated into that third slot.
Let me ask you this. With Nolan Smith, that rumor's been out there for the entire summer, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
All of a sudden, there's coaching changes that are made. Do you feel that some of those four, maybe all of those four, were made because of financial purposes to be able to afford to bring in Nolan? In other words, Nolan was rumored for a long time to be added to the staff. Well, you have to find financially
a role, money, all of it.
You have to, but to do that, you know, and then it coincides with a new athletics director who's probably going to want to pinch a few pennies. Do you think it was purely a financial move? We're going to move these guys out because we're going to bring in this guy. We think he'll be better. He'll help us more, but we have to have the money to afford him.
Yeah, I can't say for certain.
Just asking your opinion.
Yeah, I don't think that's the number one reason by any chance. I think, you know, Penny and Ed Scott certainly had a conversation about how Penny himself internally felt he could improve his basketball program and improve his situation, give him the best chance to win this season. And I think he just identified, for whatever reason, the timing is not great, not ideal, as Penny said himself. But he identified now that, you know, there were certain staff members that maybe were, I don't want to say holding him back, but not seeing eye to eye with his vision and not seeing eye to eye with what he wants to achieve here at Memphis.
So with the idea of maybe people are moving into a different whatever, do you, from what you gather, will there, with four guys out, will there be four new guys hired, or will there be positions that are vanishing?
Yeah, I think that staff was large, right? Like, it was an abnormally large staff.
Very large.
If you just look at any other, you know, high major Power 5 college basketball program, most teams don't have that many staffers. Now, obviously, there's four out the door. We talked about Nolan Smith potentially being in the fold officially as early as today, or if not early next week. So that's one. Mike Davis had been there. So no, I think to answer your question, I don't think we're going to see four brand new bodies come in the door. We may see maybe two or three.
But I think Penny said, if I'm not mistaken, when he addressed the letter with the email that came out to all of us, right, Penny?
That was Penny did not address the letter.
Well, he had a statement, right?
No, he did not.
Not on
the
the
university
letter.
had a statement.
He addressed the firings. He didn't.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
The firings.
It was all involved.
No, but the letter was never addressed.
No. I don't mean the
anonymous
letter. I mean the response from the school that was sent out to us.
Yes, yeah, Michelle Earhart, University spokesperson, addressed the letter,
not
Penny Hardaway, or
not the anonymous letter. No, I'm saying there within that there was the Penny statement about it being. I think it was Penny who had the statement that it was a coincidence, that the timing of this. Who had, or did he tell Rothstein? Somebody said there was a coincidence. It was a coincidence.
Ed Scott went on Jeff Calkins' show Friday.
It was Ed Scott.
So it was 2 days after the statement from Penny Hardaway. So let's take a step back. The timeline, right? Tuesday, the stuff is leaking to media. I put something out. You know, my competitors put something out about the four coaches who, you know, were allegedly fired. Jermaine Johnson was a part of that list initially. I was told Jermaine was gone.
Right.
So I put that out. It was Jermaine Johnson. It was Demetrius Dyson. It was Faraji Phillips. And it was Jamie Rosser initially in my report and other reports. Next morning, we find out, well, no, Jermaine is going to remain on staff. He is not going to be let go. And, you know, Rick Stansberry will be let go. And I think Demetrius Dyson was not an initial name. Demetrius Dyson was added to that list next morning.
Stansberry was the name.
Stansberry was the name.
Right, that was the
But that didn't come out until later Tuesday, right?
Okay.
It was kind of a twofold thing where three names came out early Tuesday. Later on, Rick Stansberry, you're finding out that he's not going to be back either. Wednesday morning, Memphis comes out with an official statement saying, hey, Stansberry, Faraji Phillips, Demetrius Dyson and Jamie Ross are no longer with the basketball program,
Right.
but Jermaine Johnson is not on that list. And then obviously 2 days later, Ed Scott goes on air with Jeff Calkins saying, hey, these firings are timing-wise completely coincidental. They have nothing to do with this NCAA investigation or that letter that came out.
There we go, was Ed. I was confused where it came from. I just remember a statement where somebody said it was a coincidence. Do you believe it was a coincidence, or do you believe there is a connection?
Yeah, I think I think it's a little bit of both, right? To answer, I know that doesn't really answer your question.
Yeah, I'm just asking for an opinion. You don't know factually.
Right, but I think certainly that could have been part of it. But the way I look at it is, hey, like Penny identified these changes he has to make, or he felt he had to make to his staff. If in some either roundabout or direct way that helps with the investigation, or you get rid of people who may have been even tangentially involved in the stuff that was going on, then all the better, right? Is probably the way Penny Hardaway looks at it, probably the way Memphis looks at it.
Well, the thing, have you figured out anything as to why Jermaine Johnson was initially thought to be one of the ones fired and then ended up not being one, and now there's a possibility that he'll end up, I guess, being promoted and becoming one of the assistant coaches?
I do not think
for the
my
third,
money is not on him becoming that third assistant, if you're asking me.
But have you figured out at all why he was supposed to be out and ended up not being out? When if it had anything to do with the letter, he is in the letter listed, paying the person. So I don't know.
Allegedly, yes. Yeah, that is still confusing to me too. What we know is obviously he was a name that myself and others were told was gone, as good as gone, as of late Tuesday. He tells Jason Smith of the Jason and John Show on 92.9 that he is going to be on with them Friday, and then all of a sudden, 12 hours later, Jermaine Johnson is not going to be fired. Jermaine Johnson is remaining with the basketball program. So I thought that was interesting. Like, were they worried he's going to go on and do a tell-all, on Jason and John, or what's going on there? I thought that was certainly something to note.
E-television needs to get involved with tell-alls, right? My wife and I watch a lot of those tell-alls. All right, so the letter itself, okay, it comes out. Obviously, it shocks people. It seems very damning to the program and to Penny. However, let's think about this for a second. It's an anonymous letter that the school obviously came out and said that they received and had forwarded to the NCAA.
They had no need to do that. There's no need for them to acknowledge anything. Right?
No, but when you're walking on eggshells from already being on probation, I think anything that comes to your doorstep, you ain't going to wait. You're not going to hesitate.
No. I get that. Like, I totally get sending it to the NCAA, like being transparent, being forthcoming.
You're talking about telling us?
But telling, I think it was Pete Thamel, like telling the media, right? Like, hey, we have the letter. We have, there was no need for that. They made it a story.
Probably not. You're right about this. But here's the thing. Unless that anonymous person, follows it up with that information, makes themselves known to the NCAA as a legitimate person, here's all the evidence, this dies. You can't just go off allegations, even though Memphis has been in hot water before. And I don't know, because again, as Eli said, this is somebody that was on the staff or completely associated with somebody who was on the staff that they got all that information relayed to them.
It's got to be, right?
It can't be somebody else, right? It's not some obscure Joe Q public.
It's not a Tennessee fan, right?
Right. So whether that person's still on the staff or was let go or whatever the case may be. But if that person is not going to move it to the next step, nothing is happening from this. So the worry and all the talk about, Penny's not going to be there for the first game. I mean, come on. I don't think... My personal opinion is we're not going to hear anything more about this. The NCAA can't do anything unless that person reveals themselves. They don't know how to contact this person. It's just they got an anonymous letter.
Yeah, no.
And that person doesn't move forward. It's dead on arrival.
Exactly. No, 100%. I think they, I'm assuming they got the same thing that you and I did and other members of the media did, which is a letter with nobody's name on it, right? And no phone number to contact, no email address, no forwarding address, nothing. I will say, I know other people have gotten this as well, but I got when I obtained the letter, I got the letter plus some, there were some emails there, there was some photographs there. A lot of it seemed kind of like what you just said. Like, is this even real? This looks kind of goofy. Mm-hmm. Like, these photographs are, we don't know if they're real, if they're doctored. We just don't know. So, yeah, until you have somebody saying, hey, I'm the one who wrote the letter. This is how you can contact me for more information, and this is how I know these things. Like, what does this all mean? I don't know.
And laying out names in the actual letter could be libelous to that person, but if the person's not revealing themselves,
then who do you sue?
Who
right?
you going after? Right. Who
Exactly.
you going after? So that's why I just don't think anything's going to end up coming of this. But
it's certainly not a good headline among other not good headlines that the University of Memphis basketball team has had.
No, that is true.
Like, come on, yeah.
The program itself does not need to be in any way anonymously or whatever associated with any more NCAA violations.
No. All right, can you hang for another segment?
Absolutely.
We'll get to the actual team itself. The season is right around the corner. Parthu Pajai joining us here in studio.
When it comes to guns, folks, Classic Arms is the place to go. UTJ and his entire gang over at Classic Arms, they've got over 700 firearms in stock. That's right, 700. They've got everything you can imagine, whether it be handguns for self-defense, whether it be rifles, whether it be shotguns, and whether it's new or used, whether it's old, whatever. They've got everything for you. They buy, they sell, they trade. They've got all the top brand names as well, whatever it is that you're looking for, plus supplies, whether it be ammo or safes or cases or anything like that. They've got you as well over at Classic Arms. They guarantee the lowest price in town. They do free gun inspections. They do free gun appraisals. They'll do free bore sighting as well. You can shop online 24/7 at ClassicArmsOfMemphis.com, or better yet, you can go visit them at Classic Arms, 1740 Germantown Parkway. It's in the shopping center right there behind Corky's Barbecue, just off Germantown Parkway out in Cordova. For all those firearms needs, go see the folks at Classic Arms.
All right, more with Parthu Pajai from the Daily Memphian when we return. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
We are Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
So you need to sell your house? I have the solution. Call 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill and I buy houses. Any house, any area, as is. It's literally as simple as that. Just pick up your phone. Call 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill and I buy houses. Guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your house fast, call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's Bill and I buy houses.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated. And you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. We find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
If you're looking to play a private country club but only pay daily greens fees, then Meadowbrook Country Club in West Memphis, Arkansas is the place for you. At Meadowbrook Country Club in West Memphis, you can now play a beautiful, challenging course for only $59. Meadowbrook Country Club features champion Bermuda greens and is now available to everyone. A membership is $350 per month and includes tennis, pickleball, and swimming, plus a great restaurant and bar, all less than 15 minutes from downtown and midtown Memphis. Meadowbrook Golf Pro Mark can even fix you up with custom-made tricks on and Cleveland clubs. If golf isn't for you, try the social membership for only $250 a month. And there's 3 levels of all-inclusive junior memberships, $20 to $29 for $200 a month and $30 to $34 for $250 a month. Call for your tee time today at Meadowbrook Country Club, 870-394-4186. Now semi-private Tuesday through Sunday. Meadowbrook Country Club in West Memphis, 870-394-4186.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus in Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
To reveal the full spectrum of its dazzling color.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
It's bonus Parth time. That's how much news we have to talk about with the Tigers basketball team, and the season hasn't even started. So Parth Upadhyay from the Daily Memphian hanging with us for a few more minutes. Okay, so they got news a couple of days ago about the kid from Senegal, Gillette Junior College, Bouma Kibi, a 6'10 rim runner is what I'm told. Yep. He has committed to the University of Memphis. What type of player were they getting, and what type of impact do you think he can make?
Yeah, I think he's definitely a depth piece. I mean, they had 8 scholarship guys already brought in that are going to be a key part of the rotation. You got Nicholas Jourdain back. You got Jared Harris, who's also been in the fold for all of summer workouts and the whole time the Tigers have been together. So you've got that 10-man, if you will, key rotation. Now you're just kind of filling out those last few spots. So I think, yeah, someone like is it Bouna Kibi? Is that
Bouna Kibi?
I hope I'm not butchering his name.
I believe that's what it is. We'll find out.
We'll find out soon enough. But you get this rim running kind of raw talent out of the JUCO level. You hope you can mold him, and you hope he's around for more than one season. So I think that's kind of what you're getting. Somewhat of a project, but also a guy who's scrappy and kind of fits the culture and identity of what Penny Hardaway and Memphis want to do.
Is he theoretically eligible? Is he enrolled and going to be ready to go in the fall before the semester break?
Everything that I've heard, yes. Correct.
He just made the deadline is what I heard, but I don't know that for sure. But I know he was up against it. That deadline was there before that announcement came.
Yeah. Classes have started. I mean,
it's
freaking September 13th.
Well, that's right. It always amazes me.
Semester is.
Yeah, maybe he'll get eligible for the first semester, then won't be eligible for the second semester.
The fact that it was he committed. Well, they didn't commit. He has to enroll in school. That's not committing. You have to be in school. You are.
Yeah, and I'm sure that process will be expedited.
Exactly.
Form or fashion.
The 2 walk-on sons of the dads who were fired.
I assume they're not there.
Are they going to be still here?
I've asked about that, and I asked about it, I think it was last Friday, so 2 days after the firings were announced, and I was told those players are still on the roster as of that date. So this is as of whatever last Friday was. That would have been September 6th. I've not heard anything different. They are still, Noah Stansberry at least, is still listed on the roster. Raji Phillips actually, I don't know if this means anything, posted on his Instagram story about the Hoops for St. Jude Classic. His excitement about that. So I don't know. It'd be weird for them to still be on the roster, right? We're making an assumption, if their fathers have been let go, fired, dismissed, and there is some tension there, it'd be odd for them to remain with the program. But as of now, like I said, they still seem to be a part of the fold.
Yeah, it would be odd, but I'll tell you what, it adds a little support to what Penny said. If two guys that he fired, their sons remain
loyal
and
to Penny
play
Hardaway.
to him.
Yes.
Play for him.
Yes.
So, again, that's interesting.
Because, you look at it, the coaches who got dismissed or fired or whatever, those guys' names are off the coaching staff list, off the roster. But, Noah Stansberry's still up here with his headshot, with his information.
Then again,
his name is not scrubbed off the site.
Then again, where are you going to go? You're 2 walk-ons.
It's so late, man.
And you want to play basketball.
Exactly.
It's hey, Dad, I love you, but I'm sorry. I'm committed to Penny here.
Right.
But I
Senior night would be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
Oh, yeah. But again, there are coaches that have left the program for different jobs and other reasons that I really do believe that Penny is right in the sense that he has those relationships and always will. Others that I question.
Right now.
There's others that I question.
There were 9 guys either let go or have moved on their own this offseason. So the 4 that just got dismissed added to a list of already 5, so that makes 9 this offseason. Hey, man, some of those guys are unemployed right now. We could,
right.
I'm not trying to kind of.
He didn't do him a solid.
No, not all of them.
Right. The guys he got rid of after the season, after the debacle of last year, that comes with the territory.
It does.
Right. He's going to make changes.
No, certainly.
It's just these changes are very peculiar.
Right, and it's the whole statement that he gave to Rothstein about, hey, nobody's really ever been fired. Whatever he said, most of them have been moving up. I guess that's one way to put it. Yes.
Well, the thing, when you fire somebody in September, they're not going to have another job for the next season.
It's going to be very, very, very difficult for them to be on the
because no other
sideline.
staffs are making big changes.
No,
in this time of year.
It's unusual. It's very unusual.
All right. So, what do you think about North Carolina, and then obviously the one that was announced beforehand, Alabama, two charity events to play to kind of find out where you are early with this new roster. I'm sure you like it, right?
It's exciting, man. I mean, I went to North Carolina. I graduated in 2020, so I'm an alum. And this is amazing, like to see kind of my worlds collide and to see my alma mater come up in here in the FedEx Forum and to take on the Tigers will be fun.
Don't you think it's smart, though, for these programs? I know it hurts a Lemoyne or a Lane or a CBU.
And Penny spoke about that last night, to his credit.
Right. And probably they'll get back in the fold eventually. But to be able to do this and to play these type of caliber teams, that gets you ready right away.
Absolutely. You're talking about two teams that could easily make the Final Four, come 2025 in North Carolina and Alabama, and you're playing them before you start this absolute gauntlet of a schedule that features UConn, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Virginia, Clemson. We know the rest, so no doubt about it.
I guess it would probably maybe the hope would be going forward that, again, if this St. Jude thing could become a regular season event, then you could play one big team in an exhibition and then still play one of those other local teams in an exhibition?
Well, no, because they want the St. Jude thing, and Penny reiterated that last night, that they want it to be a regular season.
That's what I'm saying. You play that, and then you'd have your two exhibitions.
I see what you're
saying. You could play one big opponent and still play a Lemoyne-Owen or whoever on the local level.
Yeah, perhaps, but I think, if this St. Jude tournament, and I'm just making something up, we don't know anything for sure yet, but if this is going to replace your Maui or your Battle for Atlantis, then that's just replacing the MTE, right? So you're taking the competition you'd face in a Thanksgiving tournament and replacing it with the St. Jude Hoops Classic. Well, then you still want to be tested in the preseason if you're Penny, knowing that you've got this beast of a schedule coming right up.
Let me ask you this: if this event becomes a regular season,
then what he said about wanting to play those, didn't he say last night he said they thought they'd get back to playing Lemoyne?
Yes.
If they want to play two big exhibitions, they're never going to be able to play them.
Yeah, I mean, he said he wants to get back to, at least it sounded like, from what I understood, at least playing out of the two exhibitions, one of those local schools, one of those HBCUs.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's what I was saying. If you make the St. Jude thing a regular season event, you could still play one big exhibition game,
right?
And then you have one other exhibition game
against the Lemoyne-Owen.
You could play one of those teams.
Yeah, I mean, the Lemoyne-Owen thing, it almost happened. I don't know if you guys saw, but when Lemoyne-Owen released its basketball schedule, men's basketball schedule, about a month ago, I believe, they had Memphis listed.
Oh, did they?
Oh, yeah. Right. So I called Antonio Harris. I'm like, hey, coach, what's going on? And he said that basically there were talks, and it had almost come to fruition. Lemoyne-Owen kind of jumped the gun. They admitted.
Because Memphis was working on this. And then
I was working on this. The Alabama thing had happened, and there was just no more room for a third exhibition, obviously.
The days of playing two smaller division teams and exhibitions are gone.
Especially if you're Memphis and you're, having to kind of jump right in.
Now, here's the other thing. If you can get this as a regular season game, you're playing it in Memphis. Maybe you have 4 teams. Memphis always plays. They bring in 3 teams. There's 2 games. Okay.
Yep.
But the gate is going to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital.
Mm-hmm.
What about now your season tickets sales may go up because, you got North Carolina coming in, or you have somebody else coming in big. The ticket, and when it's a season tickets, okay, let's say there's 8,000, 10,000 season tickets, and I know they haven't even reached that in just normal, but let's just, for the sake of this discussion, how do you only get the walk-ups? Do you only get the single game ticket purchases like St. Jude? Like if you already got season ticket sales, they're not giving that money to St. Jude, right?
No,
I'm trying to figure out how they could also make money
and
give the money to the charity
100%.
Because you're going to get rid of one of your big gates.
Yeah, you would assume that whatever the season ticket price is, there's some kind of math or some kind of fraction of that's cut out that says, hey, this is our piece of the pie for the St. Jude,
and the rest goes
to the University of Memphis. That's what I'd assume.
Plus the second game. Plus the other game and all that. And, of course, obviously the Grizzlies have to be in on it, and I think they will be. Obviously, they're in on it this time around. So that's a win-win situation. Okay. As far as the team is concerned, and we'll obviously have you on as much as you want to come on to talk about the team as we get closer to the start of the season. But nobody really knows. What is Penny saying about this team? A team that is kind of void of stars, although there's a couple of big names, but not these huge names that they brought in last year. What are you hearing about the actual team on the court?
Yeah, it sounds like the message has been consistent from Penny and from people within that program that, hey, like there may not be, like you said, the big flashy names, the Javon Quinterleys, the Jordan Browns, the whatevers, but you've got guys who kind of fit the identity of what Penny Hardaway wants to do, which is being, scrappy, tenacious on defense and kind of starting there, hanging your hat there and letting that control the offense, so to speak. So you've got guys like Tyrese Hunter. You've got guys like Musa Cisse, Tyreek Smith. Once again, may not be the flashiest players offensively, although obviously Tyrese Hunter is, his Instagram handle, his social media handle is Walking Bucket for a reason. But
self-proclaimed walking bucket.
You've got guys that are gonna get it done on the defensive end of the floor. And I think that's where it starts with this team.
Yeah, I like the team that he's put together. Sad news about Quinterly, isn't it? That he announced his retirement.
It is sad, man. The message I thought was sad. How he kind of thought that he was a failure, man. I mean,
he wasn't.
When you play at that level and you play at schools like, no matter how it went, Villanova, Alabama, Memphis, and you win Sixth Man of the Year in the SEC and you're the SEC tournament MVP in 2021, you're not a failure, man.
He won.
Far from failure.
I can remember 2 or 3 games. He won
for Memphis. Made 7 figures or whatever.
Yeah.
That's not failing.
No. Not at all.
That's not to be funny. Like, if you're made that much money playing basketball, you did not fail playing basketball.
Yeah, I just hope that he's okay, his well-being, because
I shot him a text message. I haven't heard back.
Yeah, because he could easily make money somewhere in the world. I mean, the guy literally won the Tigers 2 or 3 games with last-second shots. Did he not this past year?
He did.
So I thought that was sad. Again, Parth, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. If you want to follow Parth, and I would recommend you do on Twitter, it's at PUPADHYAYA_. Of course, read all his great stories at the Daily Memphian. Parth, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate
y'all.
That is Parth Upadhyay. All right, it's caramel apple season at Dinstall's, perfect for the fall, which is rapidly approaching. They are finally here. Tart Granny Smith apples dipped in fresh, chewy caramel. And pick your choice, because they have all types of these caramel apples. Regular caramel with nothing on them, caramel with pecans, caramel with chocolate, or the ultimate turtle apple. That's caramel, pecans, and chocolate. Caramels with chocolate and cashew crunch. They even have the delicious Granny Smith caramel apple season underway at Dinstall's. The perfect taste of fall. Great for your tailgates this weekend. So make sure you stock up on these delicious caramel apples and all the great delectables, the great candies, chocolates from Dinstall's. They've been making them for 122 years. 5 locations in Collierville, Germantown, downtown Memphis, East Memphis at Laurelwood, and Pleasant View, where they make the candies. It's Dinstall's Fine Candies and Chocolates. When we come back, we open up hour number 3 with 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation. Then Brandon Lang will join us. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Everyone, what did you think of the chocolate bar?
It's too chewy.
Feels kind of chalky.
Too much nougat.
I need to go brush my teeth.
Business is booming for Steph's small marketing research firm.
After all these focus groups, there's only one conclusion. I need more researchers.
And she's way too busy researching
Does this have peanuts?
to waste time researching resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
I felt like we were really lucky to have a place like Genesis. There are several jewelry stores, I know, but I don't think any of them can match up to Genesis.
Meet Beth Gear, another thrilled Genesis Diamonds customer.
Yeah, the whole experience was wonderful. I felt really super comfortable, and I felt confident that we were getting the best deal for the money, too.
But for Beth, it was more than just getting a great price.
I'd say the value was extraordinary. Even if the price had been slightly more, I think we would have still chosen Genesis just because we felt that there was a personal connect. We felt like they really wanted us to be happy.
Genesis Diamonds, where you and your budget are respected from the minute you walk in.
No matter what your budget is, Genesis will work with you. They never make you feel
Traffic brought to you by 901 Eats to Go, 3135 Kirby Whitten Road in Bartlett. Pick up, DoorDash, Uber Eats, or online at 901eats.com. Eats with the Z. Good food fast.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Traffic still a little bit heavy at times. 40 east across Hernando to Soto Bridge coming over from West Memphis. Busy up through the Midtown area with that steady flow of traffic on 240 north here at Lamar. It's still a little bit crowded at times. Coming down 40 west anywhere you travel between Germantown Parkway and Sycamore View Road. Hey, make a difference this weekend by adopting a pet at the Humane Society of Memphis and Shelby County. Check out the animals that are up for adoption right now by logging on to memphishumane.org. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis with Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus. Weekday afternoons from 3 to 6. Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jenkins Floors and More. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everybody. Final hour for us this week. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd with you. Little thing we call Sports 56 Mornings on this Friday, September 13th. Yes, Friday the 13th, 2024. Broadcasting live from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, where family and fun come together. 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. 66 and rain right now. 70 degrees for the high today. Again, rain could be heavy at times, a little bit lighter at times as well, including tonight when the rain should taper off a little bit. But look, the rain's in the forecast throughout the weekend. I'm staring right now at that forecast, and it has rain all the way through Sunday. About a 60% chance now. Make it a 70% chance on Sunday. Could even be some rain on Monday. So just got to do what you got to do, folks. Got to put up with the rain. We needed the rain, and unfortunately that storm rolled through, the tropical storm Francine, and has laid down the law, if you will. Coming up a little bit later on in the hour, we will have Brandon Lang. He'll handicap some of the NFL and college football games this weekend. We got 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation, coming up in just a moment. I do want to tell you about our third hour sponsor, the great folks at Jenkins Floors and More. And they invite you to their retail warehouse where they pass wholesale savings on to you. That's right. They sell it to you wholesale, skip the middleman, save you lots of money. Flooring and carpeting, if that's what you're looking for, that's what they specialize in. 2356 Goodman Road in Horn Lake. They also have a warehouse in Cleveland, Mississippi, and in Little Rock. They will come to you. They will give you a free estimate. Just call them. Jenkins will come to you. They'll show you the different samples of what it will look like. And then if you go with Jenkins, a 2-week turnaround. Now, maybe you're doing it yourself. You're a homeowner. You're a contractor. Whatever the case may be. Why not go where it's quality workmanship, there's quality craftsmanship, there's a great price where you're going to save a lot of money, and then do it yourself. It makes sense to go to Jenkins Floors and More. So stop by, see them at any of their 3 locations, including 2356 Goodman Road in Horn Lake. Call them at 662-469-9350. Tell them you heard it here on Sports 56 Mornings. They're open Monday through Saturday. Great family, great service. Ask about the Sports 56 listeners discount, and all military and first responders get 10% off. It's Jenkins Floors and More. Time now for 10 in a row.
Not 5, not 6, not 7, not 8, not 9, but 10 in a row.
It's the game show that has swept the nation. It's 10 in a row. If you'd like to participate, we need you to jump on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines right now at 901-360-8255. That's 901-360-8255. We'll give you the question in a moment. We'll tell you what the prize package is. But we got some great sponsors as well for 10 in a row, including Napa Cafe.
That's right. Celebrating 26 years in 2024. Napa Cafe. Great food, great atmosphere. Boy, if you got a special night out, special occasion you want to celebrate, that private wine cellar, absolutely a fantastic place to go enjoy a great dinner and just a really good night out. They got 5 different dining rooms, including that private wine cellar. Maybe you just want to go sit at the bar, have a drink and one of the appetizers, whatever it might be. The folks at Napa Cafe, you know you're going to get great service, you're going to get great food, so many things on that menu to choose from. You can find the menu at napacafe.com. The entire menu is available for takeout as well. If you want to do that, looking just for some great food to take home, you can do that. Napa Cafe is at 5101 Sanderland. Also, again, online, napacafe.com. They're open for dinner Wednesday through Saturday, starting at 5 o'clock. You can also make reservations on the website at napacafe.com. So celebrate with a crowd or just an intimate evening, whatever it is you're looking for. Great food over at Napa Cafe, 5101 Sanderland.
10 in a row also brought to you by the Owner's Box. If you're looking for sports in the wrong place, you need to find the right place. That's the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square. This is a really cool place. Very comfortable with wall-to-wall TVs. You're going to find the game you're looking for. All your favorite games right there on the big screens. All over-the-wall taps for all your favorite beers, including non-alcoholic and local craft beers. In front of the wall, you got the full bar for all your other favorite beverages, including a full wine list. They have patio seating, an upscale menu, daily specials and events. So, yes, you found all your sports in the one right place. That's the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square. And take advantage of their lunch specials. Weekdays, Monday through Friday, 11 until 3. Delicious options, including quesadillas and sliders, salads as well, plus soups and sandwiches. Again, lunch at the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill, 11 to 3, Monday through Friday. All right, what are the folks playing for?
We got a $25 gift certificate to the Owner's Box. We got a $50 gift certificate to Blue City Cafe. Got golf for 4 at Miramichi and a couple of Malco movie passes.
Okay, here we go. The question. Annual NFL regular season passing leaders by yardage. So did they lead at least one season in passing yards? I'll give you a quarterback. If they've led at least 1 year in total passing yardage regular season, it's a yes. If not, it's a no. 360-8255. You better jump on the lines right now because you know what time it is. That month is over for Joe. Joe's wait is over, and he's ready to rock and roll.
Joe is first up. Hey, Joe.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, guys. I'm actually able to be on because I'm off today because one of your sponsors, Conway Services, my AC's messed up. So that's the reason I'm able to be here today.
Well, hate to hear it, and glad when you're able to listen. We appreciate it. We know that you're a 10-in-a-row Hall of Famer. All right, annual NFL regular season passing leaders by yardage. Drew Brees.
Yes.
John Elway.
Oh, man. I'm going to say no on Elway.
Oh, gosh. This is a shocker. Joe has gone down. It doesn't happen often.
Well, it's tough times for Joe right now. Although if you're going to have your air conditioning down, this is a good day to have good time to have your air conditioning down when it's only like 70 degrees outside.
That's true.
You don't want your air conditioning to go out when it's 150.
But think about this. It's Friday the 13th. I love Friday the 13th. Joe has his air conditioning down. It's out on Friday the 13th, and he goes down on the second question in 10 in a row. It's unheard of.
So you mean to tell me Joe is definitely mortal?
He is human.
Somewhat.
Wayne is next. Hey, Wayne.
Hey, Wayne.
Hey, top of the morning to you, fellas. I just wanted to say that after this phone call, I'm driving down to Tallahassee to watch my football Tigers go 3-0.
There you go.
Have a very safe and joyful
How long is the
travel.
drive?
About, what, 8 hours?
Yeah, about 8 hours.
All right. Be careful going down there, Wayne. I'll see you
Thanks,
down
guys.
there.
I hope I see a lot of blue down there.
All right, let's play 10 in a row. Annual
Yes,
NFL regular season passing leaders by yardage. Phillip Rivers.
No.
Sorry, Wayne. Safe travels. 360-8255. Who's next?
Next is Jack. Hey, Jack.
Jack, what's going on?
Okay, repeat that question
Sure.
to me one more time.
Annual NFL regular season passing leaders by yardage. So did this quarterback, I'll give you the name of a quarterback, did they lead the league at least one season in total passing yardage for the regular season? Okay?
Okay.
Drew Brees.
Yes.
John Elway.
Yes.
Peyton Manning.
Yes.
Randall Cunningham.
Yes.
360-8255. Couple of open lines. Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines, 901-360-8255.
Steven is next.
What's up, Steven?
Hey, guys. What's up?
Not a whole lot. All right, we go to list 2. Phillip Rivers.
Yes.
Deshaun Watson.
No.
360-8255 is the number. Yes. We forget about Deshaun Watson with all the negative stuff. 1 year, he led the league in regular season passing yardage. 360-8255 is the number. Who's next?
Dwight is next. Hey, Dwight.
Hey, Dwight.
Hey, guys.
Drew Brees.
Yes.
John Elway.
Yes.
Peyton Manning.
No.
360-8255. Remember, folks, when we bring you on, lower your radio or we get the feedback. 360-8255. I see Mario on the list. Did Mario win recently?
I believe so. I don't remember when it was. By the way, can I just say, like, that was Dwight. We haven't heard from Dwight in quite some time.
That was the Dwight?
I'm glad to hear from Dwight.
You know what?
Dwight, thanks for calling again. It's been a while. I don't remember the last time I've heard from Dwight, so I'm happy that Dwight just called in.
When I saw that name, I thought the same thing, and I go, well, maybe it's a different Dwight.
Mario.
I haven't won. It's been a month. I haven't won.
It hasn't. Okay.
I lost the last couple times.
God, who won last week? I thought you won last week. All right.
No, it wasn't me.
Annual NFL regular season passing leaders by yardage. Okay. Phillip Rivers.
Yes.
Deshaun Watson.
Yes.
Steve Young.
No.
Warren Moon.
No.
360-8255 is the number. Who's next?
Well, apparently it'd be longer than a month for Mario. Ronnie, what's up?
Hey, Ronnie.
Hello. Hello, sir. How are you doing?
Doing good, Ronnie. Okay, again, annual NFL regular season passing leaders by yardage. Drew Brees.
Yes.
John Elway.
Yes.
Peyton Manning.
Yes.
Randall Cunningham.
Yes.
360-8255. Who is next? We're not even making a dent on either list.
Dwayne is next. Hey, Dwayne.
Hi, Dwayne.
Hey, well, I'm ready, guys.
Okay, Phillip Rivers.
Yes.
Deshaun Watson.
Yes.
Steve Young.
Yes.
360-8255. Next.
Next is Raider Corey. Hey, Corey, what's up?
Corey, how are you?
Good morning, fellas. How you guys doing?
Doing good, thank you. Annual NFL regular season passing leaders by yardage. Did they lead at least one season in passing yardage? Drew Brees.
Yes.
John Elway.
Yes.
Peyton Manning.
Yes.
Randall Cunningham.
No.
Mark Brunell.
Yes.
Rich Gannon.
No.
360-8255. Gannon for the Raiders, right?
I would guess. I mean, it had to be for the Raiders.
Yeah, so Raider Corey. Uh-oh.
Next up is Anthony. Hey, Anthony.
Anthony, how are you?
That's right.
Phillip Rivers.
Yes.
Deshaun Watson.
Yes.
Steve Young.
No.
Warren Moon.
Yes.
Aaron Rodgers.
No.
Joe Montana.
No.
Dante Culpepper.
Yes.
Tom Brady.
No.
360-8255. Man, he was rolling through that.
I love Anthony's voice. I always want Anthony to say Funky Cole Medina when he's on.
Hey, we lost James Earl Jones.
I just
so
want
now we got Anthony.
Want to hear him just say Funky Cole Medina next time. Next week, Anthony, when you come on, just say Funky Cole Medina for me.
Almost a winner with list 2, but not quite. We go back to list 1 for
Richard. What's up, Richard?
Richard.
Hey, how are y'all this morning?
Doing well. Drew Brees.
Yes.
John Elway.
Yes.
Peyton Manning.
Yes.
Randall Cunningham.
No.
Mark Brunell.
No.
360-8255. 10 in a row. Hopefully we'll get a winner. Next.
Next is George. Hey, George.
What's up, George?
Hey, folks. How y'all been?
Doing good, thank you. All right, here we go. List 2, Phillip Rivers.
Yes.
Deshaun Watson.
Yes.
Steve Young.
No.
Warren Moon.
Yes.
Aaron Rodgers.
No.
Joe Montana.
Yes.
360-8255. Thought
Next.
George was ready to swoop in and take that list right there.
CD. What's up, CD?
What's up, CD?
Hi, guys.
How's your older brother Cassette doing?
As a matter of fact, he's down because of the DVD.
His Uncle 8-Track? Doing
I'm
well.
afraid so.
Okay. Annual NFL regular season passing leaders by yardage. Drew Brees.
Yes.
John Elway.
Yes.
Peyton Manning.
Yes.
Randall Cunningham.
No.
Mark Brunell.
Yes.
Rich Gannon.
Supo. Yes.
Ken Stabler.
No.
Eli Manning.
No.
Jameis Winston.
No.
360-8255. Yes, Jameis Winston. Not that many years ago, right?
Sadly, there are people out there listening, younger people that are like, cassette? What the hell's a cassette? Jim, what's up?
Hi, Jim.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
All right, here we go. Phillip Rivers.
Yes.
Deshaun Watson.
Yes.
Steve Young.
No.
Warren Moon.
Yes.
Aaron Rodgers.
No.
Joe Montana.
No.
Dante Culpepper.
Yes.
Tom Brady.
Yes.
Patrick Mahomes.
Yes.
Boomer Esiason.
No.
There's your winner. Finally, Jim.
Congratulations, sir. You are a winner. Hold on. Zach will tell you how to get your prizes.
Yeah, some surprises when I put together this list. I was a little surprised Rodgers never did it.
Well, Rodgers was playing in the era of Brady and Manning.
True. No for Joe Montana.
And Breeze. I mean, those three guys.
Yeah, Breeze, like
it's tough to. When you're those three guys, that's pretty tough to compete with.
That's right. Breeze did it like 4 times, something like that. The other one's a little surprising was Gannon had that huge year. Brunell, that was not a surprise. Who was the one that was surprising to me? Was Winston. He had a huge year. I just forget. That's why, again, with Cleveland, when you think about the Browns with the situation now with Deshaun Watson, who knows? Maybe even if they can't get out of the contract, if, let's say, this moves along and they find evidence and he didn't acknowledge that this was going to happen on his contract, but even just if he doesn't figure out a way to play better, he might just get benched. And Jameis Winston gets the start. That may just happen.
It could, yeah. I mean, he's been bad. Been really bad for them in the time he has played. He hasn't played a whole lot because of injuries, but he was not good last week. Now, he was under a lot of pressure last week with the 2 backup tackles playing and the Cowboys pass rush, so that may have been a little bit to do with it, but no, if he's not better, there's absolutely a chance that they go a different direction.
I keep waiting for him to break out. I mean, how good was that guy with the Texans? How good was he at Clemson? He was going to be a star in the NFL. And then the big contract combined with all the off-the-field issues, man, it just derailed in a hurry. All right, folks, it's Chevy truck season. Whether you know it or not, it is. Together, let's drive to All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch, where all the Chevy trucks are. Every new Silverado you're looking for, you can come by, drive a few, test drive them this weekend. Financing as low as 1.9, no payments for 90 days. That's 0 payments for 3 months, and your good credit deserves it. Just in time for tailgating at the next game, All-Star Chevy has the best tailgating Tahoes. Now, if you're in law enforcement, first responder, you work in the healthcare business, military, education, you're a teacher, you're a recent graduate, get a $500 bonus when you purchase a vehicle from All-Star Chevrolet. And come check out the huge, I'm talking huge pre-owned section. Everything from Jeeps and Fords and Nissans to cargo vans and a ton of pre-owned Silverados. And if you've got any vehicle you want to sell, bring it to All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch this weekend. Get the most money for it. Don't miss this Chevy truck season sale. It's going on now. It's in Olive Branch, only in Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet. Check them out online as well. All the great vehicles at allstarautogroup.com. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hi, I'm Chandler Martin, linebacker for the University of Memphis football. Southern Security, your home team credit union, voted best credit union in the Mid-South for 6 consecutive years. Southern Security offers the latest in technology with our personal teller machines. Our PTMs allow you to speak in real time with a Southern Security team member through two-way live video. The experience and service you trust and know, delivered at your convenience. To locate a PTM near you, visit us online at southernsecurity.org or call 901-452-7900. Southern Security is a proud supporter of the University of Memphis Athletics, federally insured by the NCUA.
Family Leisure is having the world's biggest spa sale. It's happening right now. You can save thousands on in-stock hot tubs that are ready to be delivered. Family Leisure has spas that start at just $28.99. You know those cold plunges? You can get one for yourself starting at $39.99. Or how about swim spas? They start at $17,499. Plus, Family Leisure has set up special financing just for this event. Have you been sitting on the fence about an above-ground pool? Get off that fence and get to Family Leisure to take advantage of huge discounts on all their in-stock above-ground pools. And if you need some patio furniture, it's all priced to move out now. It's not too late to have some summer fun, courtesy of Family Leisure. But you better hurry up. The world's biggest spa sale might go on forever. Family Leisure. Witten Road at I-40. Family and fun come together.
Looking for a high-efficiency planting solution? The Case IH 2150 Early Riser Planter combines the industry's most accurate planter technologies with a rugged row unit for fast and uniform emergence. The Case IH 2150 Early Riser operates at your speed and adapts to unique field conditions so that you can maximize your yield potential. Stop in or call Mid-South Ag Equipment at 662-890-3141 to learn more. That's Mid-South Ag, your Case IH Equipment headquarters.
Looking for an engagement ring that will really knock your socks off? You need to be at Genesis Diamonds. It's such a privilege at Genesis Diamonds for us to work with the world's finest designers, to be able to offer brands like Takori and Veragio, and we're excited to be able to give you something really this year. Genesis Vice President David Cooper, the craftsmanship, the detail, the quality, the individuality is bar none better than anything else. Genesis has been selected as an exclusive provider for every top designer from names to choose from. And if that's not enough, they can create something that's truly custom craft you literally anything you can imagine. We have the capabilities to realize any dream. Things that other stores may call new, we've been doing for 5 years already. So don't settle for a mediocre style design. You deserve. I'm David Cooper, and I'm excited to see you show. It's extended.
Summer may be over, but yard work, it goes on. Don't worry, Colonial Hardware makes it easy for you. Colonial Hardware has all the lawn and garden tools you need from the best brands in the business. Ferris, Snapper, Husqvarna, Toro, Echo, Shindaiwa, and Billigo. Servicing most brands of lawn equipment, Colonial's master service techs will keep you going year-round. Colonial Hardware, family-owned and operated, and serving you for nearly 50 years. Next to Bass Pro and Lincoln at Sycamore View, and online at colonialhardwareinc.com.
Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 95 FM. This hour brought to you by Jenkins Floors and More. And once again, Mark Gaston and Eli
So, some news this morning from South Carolina. Ray Tanner will step down as the AD at South Carolina.
Wow, he's been there for a long time, hasn't he?
Well, he was there for, he's been AD since 2012, I believe it said. He was a baseball coach before.
That's what it was. Yeah, baseball coach Ray Tanner. Wow, 12 years as the AD, though.
Apparently he's going to stay on until they hire a new AD, but he is stepping down at South Carolina. Yeah, it was 2012 is when he took over as the AD at South Carolina. Weird situation in minor league baseball, the Twins organization. The Twins have released one of their draft picks from this year, the 6th round draft pick this year.
Catcher, right?
The catcher, Derek Bender. Who was playing for the Fort Myers Mighty Muscles, which is just a great name. But apparently, and they had like a 6-game lead in their division or whatever, like 3 weeks ago, and now they've been eliminated from playoff contention. So they just collapsed. And apparently in the last game in which they were eliminated from playoff contention, he was telling the hitters for the other team what pitches were coming. Apparently, some people said like he wanted the season. They'd said some other people had said that he had told them that he wanted the season over. What? So apparently he was just making sure they got eliminated for the playoffs. So he's just up there telling the opposing hitters what pitch is coming. And they lost 6-0 in the game. And now he's been released.
He may never play again because of that. What an idiot.
Apparently I think it was the hitting coach for the other team is the one that told the Mighty Muscles, because none of the hitters apparently said anything, but apparently I think the hitting coach told somebody for the Mighty Muscles that, yeah, by the way, your catcher was telling everybody what was coming, and so I go if he admitted to it or what, but then they've released him, drafted in the 6th round this year, got like a $300,000 bonus, and now he's released.
You sure he didn't think they were filming Bull Durham 2 or something like that?
I don't want to know what the umpire was thinking. Like the umpire had to be like, is he like, why does he keep telling these guys what is going on here? Like the umpire had to be completely confused.
That is absolutely nuts. It is time for the one and only Brandon Lang. You can hear his podcasts on the Believe Podcast Network. You can go to his website, brandonlang.com, and you can hear him each and every Friday talking with us as he joins us now on Sports 56 Mornings. Hey, Brandon.
So I'm in the Hamptons, obviously, and I'm outside my dermatologist's office, and my phone's going from 3 bars to 2 bars to 1 bar. So right now I sound good?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, I'm not moving. Car's parked. We should be fine. So I just want to know, how much longer is Eli going to be lazy and not give me my new opening?
There's
go ahead.
There are some limitations because of equipment and things otherwise it would be done. It is my fault. I will take the full blame, but I've got some limitations equipment wise that my stuff that I used in the past is not available. So, but I will promise you it'll be done for next week.
Okay. All right. Are you going to be in next week and take another day off?
I'll be here next week.
Look at him busting your chops. By the way, you okay? I got to go to the dermatologist on Monday for the first time in my life. You're there today. You all right? Everything good?
Yeah, I got something called folliculitis. You can Google it. Don't ever wish it on your worst enemy. But I'm on the tail end of it. So
yeah. How was your week last week?
Man, I went into the weekend looking good. BYU Friday night outright over SMU. And Saturday, I gave out Tulane on your show. Loved them. I did great on your show, I think, man. I hit all kinds of stuff on your show. And then for some reason woke up and thought Georgia Tech was going to run the football right down the throat of Syracuse, and they didn't do that. And then Sunday, I had probably one of the top 3 worst beats in the history of my 30 years doing this, courtesy of the dumbest quarterback that will ever walk and breathe the face of the earth since Rex Grossman. He's an idiot. He's not going to last very long in the NFL. I don't care what people say. He will be out of the league within 3 years. I guarantee it. You heard it here first. He will be gone. I don't know what his dad does for a living, but whatever his dad does, he will go in the family business. It's insurance, it's car wash business. I don't know. In the week that we do it before the show next week, I want to know what his dad does for a living, if anybody can find out, because he will go into the family business because he will not, I repeat, will not be in the NFL in the next 3 years. The guy I'm talking about is none other right in your backyard, Mr. Will Levis. I mean, absolutely. I know people have ripped this guy all week long, and they should, because, Will, I hope you're listening, and I hope this gets to you. You weren't losing the game, Will. You were up 17-16. So where in that little pea brain of yours did you think you needed to make a play? Did you need to just not go down, punt, and let your defense win the game? Will, go down. I heard Burgess Meredith and Rocky, too. Stay down, Rock. Rock, stay down, Rock. He was spitting and spewing and all over the ring. And when I saw him start to go down, it was like almost slow motion. Forget the block punt. They gave him a free 7. Forget the fact that going into that game, true stat, I'm about to give it to you. It'll blow your mind. prior to that game on Sunday, teams that trailed by 17 points and won the game without scoring a touchdown in NFL history were 2 and 1,275.
Oh, my gosh.
Will Levis just decided, you know what? I want to be number 3 because no one's going to remember him in the NFL in 3 years. So you know what? I want to be the guy that gave up the home run to, well, then Hank Aaron, Al Downing, he'd be talked about. Will Levis said, I'm going to be number 3. I'm going to be number 3. I'm going to be number 3. I'm going to be the number 3 guy who was responsible. You know, the guess, and this will blow your mind. This will blow your mind. It's happened twice before. Number 2, you'll remember, Denny Green. They are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook. The Bears, again, won that game in Arizona on Monday night without scoring a touchdown, and we're down 17 points. And I took some gummies before that series, and I just thought, I want to throw the ball, Mommy. I want the ball. Oh, my God. I swear to God, I would have caught a flight to Tennessee, and I would, oh, my God. Just put me in the octagon. I don't care how big he thinks he is, how bad he thinks he is. Put me in the octagon with him. I will end him. Will, you hear me? Brandon Lang, Will Levis in the octagon. Let's go.
Levis's father, I haven't found the occupation, but his father, Mike, played football at Denison University, a D3 school in Ohio. His mom was a 2-time All-American soccer player at Yale, but haven't found out what the father did for a living. So
Where on God's earth did the DNA in the mom's brain from Yale not make it in his head? How? The D3 Denison did. Where's the Yale brain? Where's the Yale part of the DNA? Where's the half Yale part of the DNA? Just tell me. Just somebody find it. Send him down and say, Will, why don't you have your mom's half DNA from Yale?
Did you have Buffalo last night by chance?
Yes, I did. See? You get on the right side of a quarterback. Tua did what Levis did. Did the same exact thing. Here, I'm going to try to throw it away as I'm going down. Let me just go right to the guy. It's four things you can't handicap. Penalties, turnovers, coaching stupidity, and player stupidity. Number 4 is right up there in front and center. You know what? I'm glad he had to live his life this whole week hearing from every single person on the face of the planet Earth, you got no brain!
I threw in a live bet, Bills defense to score a touchdown, and he did that because I knew it was coming. I knew he was going to do something like that. And I know I hate that he got hurt later and he's probably dealing with another concussion. But Brandon, when do you know as a handicapper or even as a gambler, here's Josh Allen. He wins every time against Miami. He's got an unbelievable record. When do
12-2, yep.
Okay, so I'm starting to think like, okay, they're due. Miami's due. Do you ever get due into your brain when you look at stats? Because there's nothing that would tell you not to take the Buffalo Bills in this game. But then you always think about, well, isn't Miami due? Maybe this will be the game. How do you kind of distinguish that when you're handicapping? You just strictly go by the analytics, by the numbers?
Not when it's a divisional game because they play them twice every year. So systematically speaking, it's the same systems. He's now 12-2 against them. So whatever he does or whatever he sees against them and the coaching staff and Miami's scheme and what Buffalo wants to do, they're your division opponent you see twice a year. He's not 12-2 against them straight up. And he's had some great games against them. He didn't turn it over last night. You know, they're 17-0 in his career when he doesn't turn it over.
Wow.
He's not lost a game when he hasn't turned it over. Think about that.
That's
unreal.
Crazy.
Unreal. So when he plays clean, he played clean last night. But thank you for letting me for my therapy session, Will Levis. I can't thank you guys enough, man. I feel great. But secondly, I think Tua got hurt earlier in the game. I can't remember the play, but he got dinged up. And I think it just I think he got dinged up. And then I think that hit was the big one. But I think he had a mini earthquake early, like a 2.0. And then when he ran into the goal line and Hamlin hit him, that was a 5.0 on the Richter scale. And I'm saying that in a comedic light, but I think he got hit. He got dinged up earlier in the game because some of those throws he made are throws he does not miss. First INT, the receiver came out of his break and wasn't ready to catch it. It bounced up in the air. The overthrow, he doesn't make that throw. And the interception was just a bad decision. And then when he went down later on, it was game over. So if it's a divisional game and you have a stat like that with Josh Allen, it immediately puts you on the right side of the game. And Josh Allen is the right side of the game. You don't approach it by saying, well, it's Miami due. You approach it by saying, until Miami shows me they can, I'm going to ride X, Y, and Z. Approach it from the other way, not the angle of, well, I think they're finally due. Then you lose. You sit there going, well, they're now 12-2 against them. I don't know why I thought they were due.
Right.
He just continues to own them. Approach it from the positive side, not the negative side, and ride the streak till the streak ends.
Good tip.
All right, so let's look at some of the NFL games this week. The Cowboys looked really good last week. The Saints put up 1,000,000 points against lowly Carolina. Cowboys a 6-point favorite against the Saints.
We all missed it last week. We all missed it. We all missed it with Dak. We all missed Dak being a dog. We all missed the fact that, I wish we all would have known about the whole Deshaun Watson, another person coming forward and all that nonsense, because I think that I think there was something there. They just did not look like the same football team. They didn't. They didn't look the same in any way, shape, or form to me. But now you have Dak laying points. Last time we saw Dak laying points was against Green Bay. Very, very impressed with how the offensive line played for the Saints and their D-line. I'll take the points all day long. I don't care what trend, what stat, whatever. I've just said take Dak as a dog, go against him as a favorite. And over the course of the year, you are going to win money. And I'm going to ride the Saints plus the point.
All right, so Indy's playing Green Bay. Jordan Love is out. I know there was the talk that maybe he could come back, but nobody really believed that. He won't be the quarterback. The Colts are a 2.5-point favorite on the road in Green Bay.
Yeah, I don't know how they're 7-1 straight up, 8-0 against the spread in their last 8 games versus the NFC North. So 9-0 against the spread as a division road. So there you go. And Green Bay's 0-3 against spread last 3 in the series. This is teed up. It looks too easy, but you lose with Indy before you try to win with Green Bay. Malik Willis and a quarterback, who knows? With all that being said, it'd be just like in the crazy thing of the NFL, it'd be just like Green Bay to win this game, but you force them to based on the numbers of Indy.
Yeah, with Malik Willis, if they find a way to win that game, that'd be crazy. I just can't see that. So then are you going full bore with Aaron Rodgers and the Jets against Will Levis and the Titans?
I'm not touching that game. I will not watch.
You had to bring it up, Eli.
I will. You had to do it. My therapy
seems
session,
easy. It seems
my
logical.
My therapy session was over. I have been in a very good place, and now you put me right back to the dark side. I guarantee Mason Rudolph will be the quarterback of the Tennessee Titans within the next 3 weeks. Will Levis will be running his dad's car wash business in South Central Los Angeles called Scooney's Car Wash within the next 3 years. Other than that, I'm not touching this game. I refuse to watch a highlight involving Will Levis the rest of the year. If they go to show it, I'll flip over to Housewives of Compton. I don't care. I will boycott anything to do. I will not touch the letters W or L with any vowels whatsoever.
All right, so the Bengals were terrible last week. They go to Kansas City. Jamar Chase somehow thinks they're the team to beat in the AFC, which is the dumbest comment I've ever heard. How are the Chiefs only a 5.5-point favorite at home in this game?
Well, this game is part of the title game with my fiance. She decided to get tricky after her win last week with Arizona plus 6.5. She was dancing around going, that's why you get the half, baby. That's why you get. I'm like, no, this girl just can't lose. My God, it's unbelievable. They get the backdoor touchdown and the 2-point conversion. Unbelievable. And the 2-point conversion, protect yourself against the field goal that the Bills got to make it 34-28. So amazing, amazing, amazing. I agree with you. The back door is open. Burrow, incredible Cincinnati stat here. Burrow is 14-2 straight up against the spread in his NFL career against a team coming off a straight up and against the spread win, which the Chiefs are, including 7-0 straight up and against the spread away. Wow. I don't know for the life of me how Cincinnati wins this game. I think Boyd is missed big time. T. Higgins is out. I just think that they didn't look right. They don't look right out of the box. I think Kansas City is part of. Well, I'll give out the paddle game right now. She's going to take a 2-team team with Kansas City -6 down to basically a pick'em, and she's taking the Texans from -6 down to a pick'em. And her paddle game is a 2-team teaser with the Texans and the Chiefs to just win the game.
Ooh.
Boom! She's now 15-2 her last 17. She's going for 16-2. 2-team teaser, 6-point teaser. Chiefs and the Texans.
Well, first teaser with the paddle game, the paddle games, I guess I should say. So, again, that was to take the Chiefs down from right now 5.5, be plus 0.5, and then Houston take it down against the Bears to minus 0.5. All right, let's dive into college. So I see this stat right here. Wisconsin is a 16.5-point home underdog to Alabama on Saturday. In the past 35 years, the Badgers have lost all 11 games straight up as a double-digit home underdog. What happens with Alabama and Wisconsin?
Wow. Holy moly. You gotta, I mean,
how about that stat?
Will Luke Fickell just went to bed here? How do you go against that? I actually thought that a game I came on your show last week and gave you South Florida plus points over Alabama.
Yes, you
and
did.
I talked about that game, Joey Guns, and so I believe that I'm a big home dog guy. I'm staying so far away from that game because I like home dogs, double-digit home dogs. But you give me a stat like that, let's see if Joe Milroe can go in there and play a perfect game. I'm still not sold on Joe. I'm still not sold on him. I'm not.
I mean,
I'm just not sold on him. Listen, when you screw me in the Rose Bowl against Michigan and don't cover, you're always going to be below at Joe. So just understand. All right?
I hear you.
There you go.
I hear you.
I like that.
To win the game, let's run a quarterback draw from the 3-yard line, and Joe's going to run into 9 guys instead of go outside. Nice go, Joe. Blow it, Joe.
Good call.
The Ole Miss line at Wake Forest is coming down, and I don't understand it. Ole Miss is going to score at least 50 points. We know that.
Oh, it's coming down? I took them at 22.
Why? They should win by 40. Wake Forest is not good.
I really thought that Middle Tennessee State had a chance to cover. They were right there, and they didn't. I don't know what Lane's doing down there. He's just scoring points. I'm not going against them until they start facing some stiffer competition. Wake could cover this game, but after watching Ole Miss last week against Middle Tennessee State, I'm not going against them. I'm just not. Dart looks great. He's got them rolling. I'm on the Ole Miss bandwagon now.
All right, Memphis, that line has flip-flopped a few times from 6.5 to -8 to -7. Right now I got it -7. Florida State favored by a touchdown.
Keep going against them. Keep going against them until they can figure it out. I just believe that teams are able to run on them, and I don't think that they can fix it anytime soon. I mean, this may be the week they fix it, but I took Georgia Tech against them. I took Boston College against them, and, again, not a game I love, but until Florida State shows me that they fixed whatever problems they have, I said it before when I used Tech and Boston College, what happened to them last year is like a dark cloud that just will not get out of above them. And until they rally, I got to keep going against them.
We did have a question. A big Raider fan who listens to the show texted and asked about that Raiders-Ravens line. Thinks that's a little too much, even though the Raiders struggled last week. What do you think about that?
Yeah, they got. I don't know how Antonio Pierce gets the job there and doesn't make sure that they have a quarterback, because they got quarterback problems, and that's a very big problem. And until one of these quarterbacks, albeit Minshew or I think the kid out of Penn, until they show me they can do something, I don't know if you can take the Raiders. If you can trust the Raiders. With that being said, they're feisty and they're going to fight, and they're going to fight hard. I think you could take the Ravens down in a teaser and get them down to a manageable number of 3.5, and tease them with the Texans or the Chiefs, and you'll be fine. But the back door is open, definitely, based on the fact that the Raiders are going to play tough for Pierce.
All right, and give us one college game that you really like.
Well, there's more than one, first of all.
All right, give us a couple.
Had a very good day for you last week.
You did.
This week, I'm going to come back with North Texas plus 9.5 over Texas Tech. My big chalk blowout. Now, Denzel Washington in the movie Philadelphia says to the guy, so explain this to me like I'm a 6-year-old. Texas State, which lost last night to Arizona State 31-28. Texas State last week beat UTSA 49-10. Texas State scored 50. They beat them by 39. And now UTSA turns around and goes on the road again to Texas, who's only laying 35. So explain this to me like I'm a 6-year-old. How can Texas State beat this team by 39? and Texas isn't going to beat them by 50. What, they're going to put Arch Manning in the middle third quarter or fourth quarter and say, just run the ball, Arch? No, they're going to let Arch throw the football. I will be shocked if Texas doesn't win that game by 50 plus.
Yeah, that one's that's after having been killed, as you said, by Texas State. Not real nice to walk in then to Texas as your next opponent.
You're beaten and battered and bruised, so we'll see how that turns out. We'll see how all these games turn out. Hopefully another big week for Brandon Lang. Of course, you can listen to his podcast on the Believe Podcast Network. Check out the website, brandonlang.com, and listen to him each and every Friday right here on Sports 56 Mornings. B. Lang, thank you so much, man. Take care of yourself.
Thanks, guys.
There are a lot of Mike Levises in the world, by the way. There's a Mike Levis is a very popular name.
Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration for all your roofing and home repair needs. Call Brandon McCullough. Don't call Mike Levis. Brandon McCullough is the owner and operator of this locally owned company, 901-438-5084, or go online to newroofmemphis.com. They offer financing. You can't afford not to fix the problem or to get the new roof. So they have financing like 6, 12, 18-month plans or options, same as cash options for you. They'll work with your insurance company. They'll work out of pocket. Again, whatever it takes to get that new roof or that roof repaired. They do residential and commercial roofing. So for business owners and property managers out there, obviously homeowners, if you have a leak or any other roofing problem, maybe some issues with all the rain over the last 24 hours or so, call Brandon today. They'll come out and do a free roof inspection. They're licensed, bonded, and insured, and a member of the Better Business Bureau. Don't forget about the $100 referral fee for all new roofs. They also do restoration, like carpentry work, exterior painting. They can replace gutters, put up fencing, siding, rotten wood repair. Whatever you can't do yourself, let the experts do it at Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration. Satisfaction with all their work always guaranteed. You get a 5-year labor warranty on the purchase of a new roof. So call Brandon this weekend if you need him. Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration. They're ready for you. They're ready to serve you. 901-438-5084 or online at newroofmemphis.com. We're coming back with our final segment. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
I don't think we really need anyone else to help us tell everyone how great Central Barbecue is.
Oh, I don't think we need it either, but I just thought it might be fun to have somebody more famous than us chime in on the best barbecue in Memphis.
Well, did he talk about how Central Barbecue slow smokes its meat for 24 hours to make sure that it's perfectly tender and doesn't need a sauce?
Well, no, not exactly.
Well, did he talk about how there are Central Barbecue locations all over town?
No.
Did you write his copy for him?
I didn't want to be insulting.
So what did he say?
Hi, I'm Dave Wolo, the voice of the Memphis Tigers. I love Central Barbecue, and I vote. Does that work okay?
What does that even mean?
I don't know.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 95 FM. This hour brought to you by James Floors and More. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 9:50 the time. Final few minutes here on Sports 56 mornings. Then we'll get our weekend started. I'll be headed to Tallahassee for the Tigers and Florida State. I know you got some games planned on being at over the next few weeks. What about this weekend? What's your plans?
Watching a lot on television.
You got the Christian Brothers game tonight, of course.
That is correct. Christian Brothers at Hillcrest tonight. Appears as though Will Levis's mother, her and his dad were in the sports apparel sales, and she started her own company.
Really?
In sports apparel sales. So I don't know if the dad, I assume the dad is involved in that. So that's the family business, it appears, is sports apparel sales. Or it was at one point. I assume it's still going. I don't know. That's as close as I can find for Brandon so far as what the family business is that at one point, for sure, his mom had her own sports apparel sales company. So good luck to them. Hopefully there's, I bet the sales of their son's jersey not as hot right now.
No, probably not. I'm trying to figure out what this story, what happened on the LPGA tour. What do they have their, what event is it this week? Is it the Dunhill Cup? Is that the women? They're having real issues with the fans and getting the fans back and forth through shuttles to the course. They say the line is more than a mile long. Yeah, it's the Solheim shuttle. They said it's useless. They're talking. These fans are saying airline tickets $2,000, hotel $1,500, time off work $2,500. Solheim shuttle useless. They're missing like 3 hours of the event, waiting in lines to.
What's the Solheim Cup?
The Solheim Cup, yeah. But it said, and then LPGA has responded. We recognize and deeply apologize to all fans affected by the challenges with shuttling from parking to the golf course. We made significant changes to our transportation system to mitigate these issues moving forward, and we're working on ways to express our regret to those impacted. Yeah, first of all, give them back their money. Second of all, what, you didn't do all this in plans when you planned it out? We've made significant changes, apparently bad changes. So anyway, that's going on.
So Aaron Judge now 16 straight games without a home run. Hitting just .207 over those 16 games since August 26th. So the idea of him getting to the breaking his own American League record, not going to happen.
Yeah, didn't I mention it yesterday on the show, maybe the day prior, that we haven't heard a lot about Aaron Judge lately?
Since August 26th when he hit that last home run, a .259 slugging percentage.
Well, they're going to need him to make a run in the postseason.
He's basically in a run right now like he was to start the year for the first, I'm not sure how many games it was. To start the year, he hit just over 200 for that stretch. But in between those two stretches, he was absolutely unbelievable. Now the question is, does he get through this stretch and turn it back on for the postseason?
Exactly.
He is really, really strong. Now,
Torres has found his way, though. Gleyber Torres. And so, again, they have a lot of weapons to maybe overcome a struggling Aaron Judge. But I still believe if they're going to win the World Series, Judge has to be good.
The biggest one of those is Juan Soto, who continues to just hit home runs.
Mashing it.
And do everything, even though he's like hurt right now, but still had that walk-off hit yesterday in their game. That dude is absolutely crazy.
Do you think Ohtani has enough time to catch Judge? And he's only got about like 15, 16 games. He's got 47. Judge has 51.
Well, yeah, if Judge doesn't hit anymore, like he certainly does.
But
if Judge continues to struggle.
Do you think it is a done? I mean, obviously he's got to still do it, but would you bet right now that Ohtani gets to 50-50?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say it's more likely than not that he does. Another bizarre story last night in Colorado where some dude, apparently I'm assuming was drunk or on something.
He was being chased, right, by the cops?
Kept running into cars and other things, and then eventually drove onto Colorado's Folsom Field.
Smashed through the gate onto Folsom Field, chased by the police.
Stopped at about the 40-yard line.
So he couldn't even get into the end zone.
No, he was short of the end zone.
That's the problem with the
stalled
Coach
out.
Prime and his
stalled
team.
out at the 40, trying to decide whether to go for it on 4th and 2 or not from his own 40. And by that time, the cops had him. They eventually negotiated with him. He got out of his car and gave up. Old Carl Haglund. He's from Massachusetts. Not sure what he's doing out there in Boulder.
Well, let me think. Colorado?
Driving around, just repeatedly hitting everything in his way, but not stopping until he got to the 40-yard line.
I'm thinking some sort of dope is involved in this, some sort of narcotics. I don't know, just throwing it out there.
I'm going to guess he was on something.
He was on a Rocky Mountain high. That's what he was on.
And I'm going to guess it was more than weed.
Yes, sir.
I'm guessing what he was on was not legal. Would be my guess. That's what's like the idea that you would even, I don't even know how you
get that bad.
Like, was he going? Did he know where he was headed? Or did he just run through this gate and then be like, crap, I'm on a football field. Where am I? What the hell just happened? How did I get onto a football field? That's just bizarre to just
What, the stadium just came up on him?
To end up there, of all places, you run through this gate, you go through a little tunnel, and you're like, what the hell? I'm on a football field.
No, I think
or did he know he was driving onto a football field?
That dude was on a mission. You're going to find out he was trying to go to kill Coach Prime. It's going to be a big mystery.
He struck several trees and a car. He just, whatever he was driving, was he driving a tank? He just kept hitting trees, cars.
Sherman tank,
and it never ended. He just kept on going. God bless the dude. Good for him.
God bless the dude.
Genesis Diamonds, folks. Poplar and Perkins Extended. That's where you'll find them. So you're going to find an amazing selection of jewelry, from engagement rings to necklaces and earrings and pendants, whatever it is. The pre-owned Rolex watches. Massive selection, great prices, great service. You'll find it all at Genesis Diamonds. In Poplar and Perkins Extended, that's where you'll find them. Go by, check them out this weekend. If you've got a special occasion coming up that you want a beautiful piece of jewelry for someone special, maybe you're thinking about popping the question, the one place you need to go. All the top designers, again, every budget, something for every budget that you can imagine, they've got you taken care of at Genesis Diamonds, Poplar and Perkins Extended.
Well, we went through the whole week and never mentioned Shannon Sharp's IG Live account and that situation. Wow. We want to thank John Varlas, Chris Boyson, Parthu Pajai, and Brandon Lang for joining us on the show today. We want to thank you, especially for listening, your calls, your texts. We always appreciate it. Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 is coming up next. We're back bright and early Monday morning starting at 7 a.m. For Eli Savoy and for Zach Boyd, I'm Greg Gaston. Have a great weekend, everybody.